All right. Woo! We are live. Welcome back to another Basement Radio Arcade podcast. We have an amazing show for you all tonight. We have some big PlayStation 5 details and games reveal stuff, information. Hey, mark your calendars, June 4th. And we'll be talking about Halo Infinite and whether or not it will be, whether or not it will make or break the Xbox Series X. Ryan McCaffrey actually put out a very interesting tweet about the importance of Halo Infinite. We'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about Ghost of, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but we do have a guest that will. Ghost of Tsushima, will it be Sony's next big AAA banger?
Ghost of Sushi Muffins.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Slow-Mo. Yeah, but I want to make a big introduction. We have someone who I've had the pleasure of podcasting with on Saltiest Gaming's podcast and Crossfire more recently. We have Creative Kofi from Twitter, who, by the way, hey, you know what, Kofi? You know what's funny? We joke around about this. We talk about Atlas gods, but they are the gods when it comes to JRPGs right now. Welcome to Brap, sir.
Yeah, thank you. By the way, thank you so much for having me on here. God bless this panel. I am familiar with some of you, but I can't wait to cover these topics. Yeah, Atlas is amazing. And even for me, I am somewhat new to Atlas. My first playthrough of an Atlas game was, oh my gosh, probably Persona 4 Golden. I'm aware of the older Persona games, Innocent Sin and Persona 3 Portable, but I never had a chance to play them. So Persona 4 Golden, played it on Vita almost 10 years ago now, and I loved it. But I really think Persona 5 stood up, took it to the next level in many ways. Obviously the visuals, but the dungeon exploration mechanics, the social link system was a little more open compared to Persona 4 Golden. And then, of course, now we have the Royal, which is just like the ultimate edition. There are criticisms I have, but when you look at the music, when you look at the character's development and the villains that you encounter in specifically the Royal, man, it's a good time. It's a really good time.
Yeah, it's funny. We're talking about Persona 5 before we went live, and to me, that is one of the best RPGs I've played this console generation. Like it's still, I mean, it is. I mean, I actually put about 125 hours in the game. I know people put more, but just the character dialogue, the plot twist, the way they designed the dungeons, the combat system, it was almost flawless. I mean, it's not a perfect game. I mean, there were some things that like I do feel like it kind of overstayed its welcome at some points in the game. I feel like, okay, it probably could have ended here. But overall, though, like just everything else, the mechanics, the story, the dialogue.
I'm sorry, I had a kid emergency. Which game are you talking about?
Persona 5.
Persona 5.
I enjoy Persona 5. There's some things I have some issues with, but I don't want to make it a big thing. But
Slow-Mo, it's definitely not a perfect game, but in my opinion, it's a very good game. Like it's one of the to me, it's one of the better JRPGs I played this console generation. And nostalgia might play a little role in this, but I think Final Fantasy VII Remake might be top right now for JRPGs.
Incredible story.
It's definitely probably one of the better JRPGs that came out this generation. I think what my main issues, although I really thoroughly enjoyed Persona 5, I had probably about 160 hours in that game. But I think my main issues were, I think Mementos was gut-wrenching experience.
It was a little overkill.
There was one final section of that was like, you're gonna put me through this part.
Yes, exactly. Know. Yeah.
One final piece.
And then it just every level looked not exactly the same, but so similar, and so just it was really torturing. I can't stand Morgana. But I
love Morgana. I love Morgana. You don't love the cat? Come on, Slow-Mo.
Morgana is almost as bad as Kate Sith with Final Fantasy VII. Like literally almost that bad. So
it's not the voice; it's just the overall character.
It's the overall character, the whininess, that whole section in the game where Morgana wants to act like she's breaking up with Joker. I'm just like, you know what? You can just go and just never come back. I would be perfectly fine. Like, but I would say some, and I'm glad they kind of addressed this in Royal. Some of the palaces I think could have used a little bit more work with the design of them, which I'm glad they addressed that. But I would say also the bosses. So the first boss, I can't remember his name. I'm pretty sure Kofi does. He is such a loathsome human being.
Yeah.
That he kind of like eclipses the other bosses. So it's like no one's ever as bad as that guy.
You know what? That's a great point, Slow-Mo. And I don't mean to interrupt you, but
interesting.
He does set the bar high with like Despicable, like how much you hate bosses.
Which I understand because in the beginning, like I didn't quite. This is my first Persona game. I didn't quite get how. Like I did eventually play Persona 4 Golden, so I get it, like how it starts out, but it was just so slow. I was just like, yo, I don't know if I can finish this game. But then Kamoshida, like all the stuff that he was doing started to come out, and I'm like, you know what? If I don't finish this game, one thing I will do is kill this bastard because he got to go. Like, but it's like he's like the hook. He hooks you in because he's so loathsome. He's so despicable. He's so disgusting that it's just like what he was doing to those students, especially the teenage girls. Was just like he needed to get got, and it was just like after that, it was like, all right, I'm kind of hooked in now, but it's just that.
Hey, Slow-Mo, he was like Donald Trump in a kind of way.
right. But I think not that, because I know some people say that he should have been like a later palace. I could see
that. I could totally see that. But then.
My thought is that I feel like some of the other palaces should have been ramped up to kind of make it seem like he wasn't like the big one, you know, like not that they were terrible, but they just weren't that bad. Like the dude, the artist, the fake artist, it's just like, okay, he's a con artist. It's like,
yeah, you know what's interesting, Slow-Mo? I mean that I think that's a very great assessment of Kamoshida, because I kind of feel the same way. Like he set the bar high because he was a piece of shit. Like he really was. Yeah. And then like you wanted to like whip his ass, right? And then you almost didn't get that feeling, that same sense of urgency, I guess, to whoop ass, if you will, with some of the other bosses. And not the other bosses or the other levels were bad per se, but I think like he definitely set the bar high. And when you change him, if you will, there's a certain level of satisfaction that you get that I, at least me opinion, like I didn't feel like I got with some of the other bosses, and not that it's a bad thing. I just felt like he set the bar with, you wanted to go in there, get in his mind, and whip his ass, right? And then when he changed, it was like, yeah, you know. And so I see what you're saying, Slow-Mo. Go ahead, Kofi, because I heard you say interesting. And what are your thoughts about what Slow-Mo and I were talking about in terms of Kamoshida and Persona 5?
Yeah, like Kamoshida, what you're right. He's definitely more threatening than Madarame, who was the artist over Yusuke. But
yes,
I think he was the very next palace after that.
He was.
The one boss, and I don't want to go too much into spoiler territory for people who might be interested, but the last boss that's human, for me, there was this moment where a certain soundtrack came on. We were talking about offline, Rivers in the Desert. And for me, he's the number one, because I had not heard that song before this moment had triggered. And it was just like this. I can't say it, but he was very confident that he was going to beat you to death.
Yeah.
That guy.
And he's like, look, you're going to have to beat me into the ground. And I love that moment. I was rocking my head to that beat. Oh my goodness. Rivers in the Desert is just, for me, it's like, I don't know. I heard
that was a great soundtrack, but was it just me, or was like after the dudes like 39th transformation. I was like, bruh, how many times I gotta beat you? Like, come on, man. Just die.
Just die already.
Just like, I got one more. And I'm like, oh my,
let's go.
I'm about to give up. Like, maybe this was his goal to just like make me quit. Like, I don't know. Like, but yeah, I mean, that was very different. Was it before or after him? I can't remember, but like when the matter of fact, here's something great about that. There's a huge plot twist. I'm not going to ruin it.
Yeah,
but like,
there is. There's
but like the whole interrogation stuff is great. Like,
let's not talk about yet. Let's not.
That was such a well written part of the story.
But Slow-Mo,
considering how it could all end right there.
Slow-Mo, how blown were you by that plot twist with the interrogation? Like, I was like, it happened, and I'm being very loose about this. I'm not, or not, you know, when I say it happened, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And then you realize, whoa, wait a minute, like, oh, okay, like that to me was like, oh my God! Like
there was a 10-minute period of confusion for me.
Yes,
I was just
exactly.
Like, wait, what? But then it was like, oh,
yeah, right.
Wow.
Yes.
Then it's like, then you just like, wow, that was well done, very, very well done. But yeah, it's Meta Alpha says Persona 5 worth it. I would say, look, it's turn-based combat, but I think it's very good, well done, and very modern turn-based combat. It's not old school Final Fantasy 4. Everyone's standing in a line and just, well, I mean, they are standing in a line, but it's a lot more stylish. The characters are more modern anime looking, and the moves and the battle system that they do is it looks very cool. So
the battle system will keep you engaged more than anything.
Yeah,
true.
That's true.
Very
B.
true.
And I think B, I think you would agree, B. Like, it also makes you think about who you're bringing into battle, because you can't bring,
for sure.
Yeah, you can't bring everyone to battle, because there's certain enemy types that don't fare well with certain characters in your party. So you have to think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I if just to say, Persona 5 is worth it. It's even if you don't get the Royal, I'm pretty sure the regular version is like less than $20. But I would say, matter of fact, no, go get the Royal. If you've never played it before, get the Royal.
Yeah, get the Royal.
You're going to get an additional semester, and you're going to get an additional character, an additional palace, and multiple endings. It's the better experience. I haven't played it personally, because after putting in 150 plus hours in the original, I was like, you got to give me a little bit more than what you got here in the Royal to make me, play it again. Although if it goes on sale, I might grab it again.
On sale, I think it's definitely worth it. So one thing that annoyed me about the base game was dungeon exploration and hiding and moving in between objects felt broken. There was certain points where you get against a wall and you're like, I don't have a return option. I don't have a continue option. I have to break out and then get caught. But they completely fixed that in Royal. And I don't know if that drove anybody else crazy. It drove me wild, man. I was pissed.
Hey, real quick, Slow-Mo, can you get code super chat, man?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Optimus code $10 super.
This might be for you, bro.
Say what?
Is this directed at you? Yeah. Spoiler-free episode. It's directed at you.
I wish I could get a spoiler-free. Like Colt was going to play Persona 5 this decade anyway. I mean, I say this decade because I know like this decade is from 2020 to 2029. He's still not going to play this game, so it doesn't matter.
Hey, Colt's still playing E.T. that broke the industry back in 1983.
Colt just finished the Legend of Zelda last week, so I mean,
the original.
Yeah, the original. The gold cartridge one. Like he's just finishing that. So, like, I mean, by the time he gets to Persona 5, everything we're talking about is going to be forgotten. But no, damn, what was I saying? There are times in the original
you're talking about the greatness of Persona 5.
But there are times when, like, how like you sneak up on the enemy and then you jump on their back, pull their mask off, right?
Sounds like my marriage. Go ahead, man.
Oh my God. Okay.
I'm just joking.
I guess put an image in my head. Appreciate that.
Slow-Mo, why you think we were like, Why are you thinking of me like that, man? You think me like I'm a
said
joker.
It, man. But there'll be times where you would do that like accurately, and then they would still be like they caught you, and it's just like, no, you didn't. Like, it's just like, I'm glad the stuff like that got fixed.
Yeah, there was some interest. Yeah, you're right. Like, it didn't work all the time, and I used to fight so much. Realize slow-mo at 90 frames per second.
I know.
Yeah, but no, that's a great point, Slow-mo. But real quick, I'm gonna go back to Kofi, because Kofi, first time guest here. I want to have you on because, one, I love your love for JRPGs and the Atlas Gods. Just give the listeners kind of a little bit about your background. Your love for JRPGs and translating games from Japanese to English.
Absolutely, thank you so much. So I started playing JRPGs a lot in the PS1 era. I got a PlayStation 1, a game called Legend of Legaia, and Final Fantasy VII, all from my dad. God bless him. I was like 12 years old.
Woo!
This was like 99, so I was late to getting a PlayStation.
Hey, Kofi, real quick, I am going to ask you, in terms of PlayStation 1, what are your favorite JRPGs? You can answer that later, but go ahead, sir.
Okay, yes. Well, I'll get right back to that, because I have a whole list. So you know what's so funny? I didn't understand turn-based games when I got Final Fantasy VII, and so my best friend had to show me. He's like, no, this is how you play it. And then since then, both games like Legend of Legaia and Final Fantasy VII are staples for me. But I do have a list of games that mean the most to me from the PlayStation 1 era, and I'm going to read them off to you right now. So it's a long list, but I'll interrupt me if it goes on for too long. Lunar Silver Star Story Complete, Final Fantasy VIII, Wild Arms 2 Second Ignition.
Ooh, Wild Arms, yes.
Of course, Legend of Legaia, I mentioned. Xenogears.
Xenogears.
Xenogears
was
awesome.
My number one PS1 game of all time is Grandia. A lot of people talk about Grandia 2 and 3.
Woo, yeah!
1 was the best. Oh, my
Grandia
gosh.
was the truth.
Yes. Incredible game. So moving on to the PS2 and PS3 era, I started to become a little snobbish. I'm not going to lie. I used to only play JRPGs and said, you know what? I don't like shooters. I don't like racers. I don't like things like this. But I changed. I got an Xbox and I played games like Project Gotham Racing. I ended up playing games like Ghost Recon. I ended up getting into a wider variety of things. I even played NFL. What was the last one with T.O. on the cover? NFL 2K5?
2K5, yeah.
So I just started to expand. But during
Little
that
Halo?
time, Combat Evolved. Shout out to Combat Evolved. That is still my favorite Halo to this day. I did play a lot of Halo 2, but I can't say I went on with the series after that, for real. But the next big thing for me was I started to realize certain games I really wanted to play were not coming out in English. Now we're talking about, certain JRPGs. And the series that ultimately inspired me to study Japanese is called Legend of Heroes. The original game for this part of the series came out in 2004 in Japan and eventually made it to the States 7 years later in 2011. So I played it in 2011 and loved it, and it had a cliffhanger ending. And I was like, what? Oh, okay, where's the next game? And it wasn't an excuse. The localizing company is a small company, and they basically said, hey, this has 1 million characters. It's basically as long as like The Witcher. All the text in The Witcher could equate to what would be in the sequel. We just don't have the funding. And I waited for years. 2 years after waiting for a localization, I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to study Japanese. And I want to be able to import this game because I had found out the series was not just 2 games, it was 7 at the time. Long story short, the game is now a 10 series entry, with the 10th game coming out in August. And so now what I typically do is just import the games when they come out in Japan, and then kind of celebrate when they come out in the West with most of the other people who I socialize with. But now it expanded beyond Falcom games. Now I play, Yakuza 7 early, or the storyline sequel to Persona 5, Persona 5 Scramble early, or something like Shin Sakura Wars, which came out last December in Japan. And that turned into translating, where I could go to a source like Famitsu and get all that information, and then it's translated for free.
Hey, Kofi, real quick, I'm going to touch base on Famitsu real quick. Because
Enrique, before you do that, let's do the super chat.
Oh, yes,
Casual 7 with the. I don't know what that is. That's not $10. That's 10
pounds.
Yeah. That's pounds. £10. All right.
Hello,
love. Can't stay up to watch, but we'll catch up tomorrow. We'll catch up tomorrow. Keep up. Appreciate that, dude.
Thank you, sir.
And that's pounds. Yeah, it's probably really late over there.
So and real quick, I would give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you so much, everyone in the live chat, for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. Please hit that like button and retweet the link that I put in the live chat. We appreciate the support as always. Thank you so much. Kofi, go ahead, bro.
So, you were going to ask me a question about Famitsu or
so Famitsu, for a lot of people that don't that may not be aware of Famitsu, like Famitsu for me is always, like, growing up, has always been like the gold standard in terms of reviews, right? They had like the aggregate score between like 3 or 4 reviewers, I forget what it is, but they were the gold standard for a while. And so, like, if a game came out, and you had me thinking about Xbox, and I remember Ninja Gaiden, the OG Xbox, and everyone's like, oh my god, if Famitsu reviews this and gives a good score, that means the game's good, right? That typically was the case because they're very critical, I think, of reviews. But I've heard they've been under a little bit of scrutiny more recently. Like, I think with one of the, I forget what game it was. There was a game where, I can't remember now.
You're thinking, thinking Death Stranding.
Yes, thank you. It was Death Stranding. Thank you. That was it, where it wasn't disclosed that something or the other, the editors had some maybe influence or something. I don't know. I forget what it was.
Yeah, and I'm a little hasty on it too, but I think he was friends with somebody who worked closely with Kojima Productions, maybe. You're right. It's hard for me to take their review scores as the golden standard that I may have thought of them as well. I do try to take into consideration the score to some extent. For example, to boost up Atlas. Atlas works with a smaller developer called Vanillaware. I know my boy Jay Barry knows as well. Vanillaware produces these like 2D, typically side-scrolling action or like RPG and influence type games that are heralded by developers and by like niche video game fans in the US, in Europe, in Japan. And they recently came out with a game called 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. It's hard for me to describe the game. It's like a time traveling game where you play as 13 individual students who are trying to stop the end of the world. This game nobody talks about, but Famitsu gave it very good scores. I had the opportunity to play it, and I platinumed it last February, and it's a fantastic game. We don't have a US release date, which is like, it hurts to know that such a great developer can come out. I'm trying to think of something that people might know. There was a game called Muramasa Demon Blade that came out on Vita and Wii, and I think it came out on maybe PC as well. They also have Dragon's Crown. They have Odin's Sphere.
That's what I know.
They're well known, but it's just like they're right at this cusp where like people don't. They're just not aware of like these really great. They have great like digitally. I don't know if they hand draw these and then have them in their in-game engine, but they just have this beautiful art style that they show, and I'm always rooting for them because I'm worried they're going to go out of business every time their sales don't show.
So Kobe, I have a question for you. Have you ever played Devil's Third?
Devil's Third. I have not played it. Oh my god! Wait, is Devil's Third? That's the game by Itagaki, no?
Yes, that is Eric Jackson's favorite game of all time.
Oh shoot!
We're not gonna go that far, but
you're like one of the few people I know that actually love that game. But go ahead, sir.
I digress. Fun, man.
Yeah.
It's like I always classify it as like it's a game that you're playing. That it's like this is a game that would be on like some like sitcom that's about to get canceled after like 8 episodes. That one of the roommates is playing in the background. You're like, there's no way that game is real. That's the kind of game it is. That's what I love about it.
It was a multiplayer game, right?
Oh, did it have?
Or maybe I'm
no. It was a single player. It was It didn't. I don't think. No, it didn't have multiplayer. Now I think of no.
It's like an action adventure, single player.
Yeah,
game.
just action adventure. Yeah,
that's right. It was for Nintendo.
It's just weird. It's like you're just this big shirtless muscle bound Russian with all these kanji tattoos all over you. The game starts off, you're playing drums, and the next thing you know, you just have guns and swords and chainsaws, and you're just mowing people down. It's crazy.
I'm a big fan of Itagaki. I still think that Ninja Gaiden stands up today, like the original Xbox.
Oh yeah,
yes, dude.
So, Ninja Gaiden 2, I know he didn't. Well, he did work on the first Ninja Gaiden 2, like before it was on PlayStation. I love that game. Love it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Kofi, Ninja Gaiden, and this is why. So we're going to segue to our first topic, by the way, and this is a perfect. This is why I'm so critical of the Xbox, because Ninja Gaiden came out the OG Xbox, and I don't think a lot of people really appreciate that I shouldn't say a lot of people, but for people like me, I would say everyone on this panel, and even Optimus Code, who was 85 when that first game came out. Ninja Gaiden, the original Ninja Gaiden was like the first like. What'd you say, Slomo?
I said that's tough, man.
Yeah. You gotta throw shit. I love Code. I gotta throw shit at him. But Slomo at 90 frames per second right now. I love Slomo. I love that, by the way. I love it. Ninja Gaiden, and a lot of people don't realize it. Like from a design perspective, Ninja Gaiden was the first game to really introduce like cinematic cutscenes into and this is back in the 8-bit era, right? See if you remember the opening scene, right?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
like, they have like the duel.
The duel, yeah. And I think his dad like dies or whatever, or well, I don't want to spoil it because Code hasn't played it yet, but
it's like 35 years later.
Yeah, 35 years. Optimus Code hasn't played that shit. He's still getting through his backlog of Space Invaders and Duck Hunt. I'm sorry.
I think he's about to play. I think he's gonna play Custer's Revenge.
Right? Yeah. So Space Invaders. He's getting through Space Invaders right now, and it's giving. And asteroids giving him a fit. So, but like Itagaki was like, to me, was a visionary. He really was. And that Ninja Gaiden on OG Xbox, and this is why I'm so like critical on Microsoft right now, because they had a game.
Facts.
They had an iconic franchise on an unproven console at the time. Like Xbox was an unproven. They launched a year after the PlayStation 2, and they went up against Nintendo. I mean, and so Halo was a big part of that, and people always downplay the importance of first-party games. Well, you know what? I will say Halo will say hold my beer, because Bungie and Halo put the Xbox on the map. And Itagaki came in and was praising the OG Xbox and was talking about the power of the console at the time, and put a game that was in my opinion, an iconic franchise at the time, and Ninja Gaiden as an exclusive. And that game, like you said, Kofi, that game still holds weight to this day.
Like I look back at those visuals, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yes, and before there was Souls, there was Gaiden. Gaiden was not easy.
Facts.
No, it wasn't.
So I have somewhat small bragging rights. Ninja Gaiden 2, I loved because it had the Sigma 2 PlayStation 3 version that came out later had a multiplayer option, and you could display that you had beaten the game on the hardest difficulty setting, which anything one hit kills you. And when I had beat that, I can tell you I loved playing online, because it's basically your health bar was gold, and so people knew that you were serious. But when you took it online, it was even harder than the original Xbox Ninja Gaiden 2, because you had to fight all the bosses in the same fight together as online co-op. And I'll never forget the difficulty of that, man. I think it was actually something I never finished, because it required a very specific strategy. You could play as what was her name? Is it Rachel, the girl with the golden hammer?
I don't remember.
And she had a dodge mechanic where you could have one player who was really good at killing stuff, and the second player, to not get hit by random attacks, would just be dodging all the time, dodging left, right, until you got to a certain boss. And I know people who are familiar with Ninja Gaiden 2 know what is her name? Samantha. She's like this red
Samantha,
butterfly. Yep. and she has this tail that like it will randomly impale you. It's really hard to predict. That was like my nightmare boss. If there's any boss that I will remember for the rest of my gaming life, it will be, or is it Elizabeth? I forget what name I was saying before, but yeah, I think it was Elizabeth. And such a terrifying boss.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, and so that's, again, I'm going to segue to our first topic. So that's why I'm so critical of, you know, the of Xbox, because they had those kind of games where, in my opinion, they had no business having those kind of games because they didn't have, they were new, right? I mean, just didn't have that that history or that clout, if you will. And so that leads me to Halo Infinite. And Ryan McCaffrey, who, by the way, shameless plug, we've had him on the show before, put out a tweet today. And he's basically saying, like, you know, the importance of Halo Infinite, like how all eyes are on this particular Halo as it relates to the rebranded Xbox Studios and the launch of the, as our buddy Forte would say, the Series X. Is this game, I mean, is this game the make or break game for the Series X and Xbox Studios? Because I do feel like there's a lot of, with everything that Microsoft's done positive with the building out the Xbox Studios and, you know, the putting out a piece of hardware that is, you know, the most powerful hardware on paper with the Xbox Series X, are all eyes on Halo Infinite. And if Infinite doesn't, and whether this is fair or not, because I you know, I had this conversation with somebody on Twitter earlier, and Slim, I think you know what I'm talking about, because you said, what else has 343 worked on, right? There's always that comparison of Bungie to 343. I don't think 343 has done a bad job, per se. I just don't think they've done as good a job with the Halo franchise as Bungie did. And how much is riding on the success of Halo Infinite for the Xbox Series X and for Xbox Studios? Like, if Halo Infinite doesn't, and maybe it's not fair to say, you know, if it's not a Game of the Year contender, it's a failure. I don't know if I agree with that, because I think, like with Halo 5, it was still a very good game, although there were some issues with the game. It's not on par, I think, with previous Halos. But do you think this game needs to be at the level of like Halo CT, like Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 in terms of its impact in the industry? What do you guys think? And I'll go to you, Kofi, because obviously you're a guest tonight, so I'll hit you with that question first, sir.
I think so, definitely. But I will give out the caveat. I'm not I'm not the biggest Xbox fan, at least in the last 10 years. I used to love their parties, but I just want to throw out there that I do have a bias against 343, because I see friends of mine who are huge fans and are just disappointed. They didn't like Halo 5 a lot. I think Halo 4 for them was okay, but Halo 5, they were just like, why did they do that? Why did they make it so that you thought that Master Chief was going to have this huge face-off, and then it's like, okay. But this time around, with 343 working on a new engine, something that will go on for the life of, you know, the Xbox 9th generation, I think there's huge potential there. Like, what I know right now that Halo Infinite is going to be on a lot of platforms, right? You know, 2013 Xbox One. But moving on, once you sunset the 8th gen, Slipspace has potential to be like the I don't know what you say, the standard for how first-person shooters should look, or all the features that should be included from launch, because you have 400 employees just for your first party. You are the face of what makes Xbox great. So I don't see any reason why I should doubt that they're going to get there. I mean, does anybody think that if they don't, and somehow Halo never succeeds in Gen 9, I just think that's a colossal failure. I just cannot comprehend Halo Infinite or some sort of Halo game or Slipspace becoming amazing in the next, I don't know, 5-6 years.
Yeah. You know, it's possible for the Slipspace engine to be an amazing engine, but then Halo Infinite still
like Frostbite.
I mean, it will have to be like a multitude of times better than Frostbite to be amazing, but it's possible for it to be a really great game engine, but then the game still not actually succeed. You know, the game still isn't good. Hey, but the
That's a good
engine's
point.
great.
That's a good point. Like
But the game,
Rise.
yeah, right. Like, you know, the cry engine, amazing. You know, Rise, not so much. But it's just, I feel this is a lot of pressure on 343, and I know we've heard a lot about the issues going on internally and whether they are true or whether it's just mostly hearsay. We don't know, and we probably won't know until the game comes out. But
And Slummo, we've seen issues with the launch of the Master Chief Collection on PC too.
yeah,
and on Xbox. So I mean,
are always having issues. Always. Although I haven't played the Halo 2 launch on PC yet.
Oh, it's having issues.
See, this is typical 343. They have yet to have a single game or a single launch of anything that did not have a multitude of issues when it came out. Every single time. I mean, just they're like Bethesda with that. I mean, seriously, like they're really that
not
bad.
Bethesda, man. I mean,
no, I'm gonna jump in there and agree with Slum on that because I mean, Bethesda has they've ridden the wave of Bethesda from last gen into this gen, where people were like, you could set your watch to them, but that's not the case. Yeah. I don't think that's been the case for a while for Bethesda proper. Everything around them has been great, Arcane, Machine Games, everything like that. But Bethesda proper, no. Yep. They have a lot to prove too. Like, you know, with the Starfield thing and all that stuff, like they got a lot to prove, and they can't come with that old engine stuff and try to get that passed. So I think, to answer your question, Enrique, I think the problem with 343 is that they have not put their stamp on Halo. They got Halo. They've been playing with Halo, like the Halo playset. Yeah. But they haven't really taken ownership of Halo. Yeah. That's how I feel about it, right? And that's the thing. It's like you asked the question, does that bode bad or terrible for Xbox Studios? I don't think Xbox Studios as a whole, no. I think all eyes are on 343 to deliver a complete Halo experience. But I think in the lexicon of like what that means for them is Microsoft will continue to try to push Halo through them, but the audience in general, not the fanboys who are going to ride it no matter what, but the audience in general is just not going to care anymore. They're already at a point now where people don't care. Well, they got to get those people back.
I kind of agree with that. Yeah,
but
got to get those people back.
But I mean, to your point though, but Halo is their biggest franchise though, right? And so we know about the investment of Microsoft Studios or Xbox Studios that Microsoft is partaking. This is the first Halo to launch with a new Xbox console since Halo Combat Evolved. I mean, like there's a lot riding on this, right?
There's a lot of eyes on it. I don't think it will kill Xbox Studios in general, because they have a lot of studios that have a lot to prove. I just think that's going to kill what people think or care about 343 as a Halo creator. And here's the problem. Here's the thing. Halo is always going to be cool. That's why people keep checking it out and keep eyes on it and keep looking at it. Even kids like it because it's just a cool concept. But you can have a cool concept and have a studio that has no idea what to do with it or how to make it correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they'll just move down the totem pole. I think other studios around them are just going to raise above them, become more popular, and people are going to enjoy those games more. And Halo will always be cool, like you said, and people are going to always check it out. I think as time goes on, less and less people are going to care about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be some other shooter that's out there. You know what I mean? Call of Duty is always going to be around. I mean, you got the Apexes of the world, the Fortnites of the world. So, like,
Warzone.
I mean, a Warzone, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So Halo doesn't have that same impact it did, back when those franchises weren't around. So, there's other stuff that's going to take attention away from Halo than what it's going to bring, I think.
I agree with that.
With that show on the horizon, you could be in a situation to where people care more about everything around Halo, like the show, the books, the toys, things like that, and the game sort of kind of fits in there as a cog, but people don't really care about it as much. It could be sort of that scenario too.
I'm gonna say this
real quick, Lamar. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, man. I want to ask B a quick question. So B, let me ask you something. So I mean, if this is not detrimental per se to Xbox Studios, I mean, and this is the biggest franchise, right? And you're saying other studios could step up.
See, this isn't the biggest franchise anymore.
But it is though. Like financially, it is, right?
No, Minecraft. Yeah.
Well, okay. Minecraft is. Yes, Minecraft is.
When they took that step to $2 billion for Minecraft, that lets you know like their attention of putting 343 and Halo up on this high pedestal isn't where they were taking the company. I mean, like, knew that they couldn't stand on Halo and let that be, the champion for them. They understood business, and understood that Halo is only going to appeal to a certain demographic, and it's going to attract a certain amount of fans. But look what Minecraft has done. It's on every platform you can pick up. You can be on your tablet, your phone. You can get it on PC. You can play it on every console. I mean, like, that's where Microsoft has taken their entire vision. So, I mean, like, Halo isn't like this grandiose thing that it used to be.
Yeah, it was.
It doesn't have to be that way, though. It doesn't have to be. They have to drastically change the format of Halo in order for it to be any greater than just this archaic game that still keeps coming out that hardcore Halo fans will continue to play. But as each year passes and new generations of gamers are introduced to games they don't give a crap about, the only way to switch that, if you look at what games that hook people, that actually, like, take for example, we talked about Apex Legends. That game came out of nowhere, literally came out of nowhere. Stealth launched it, and now it has a thriving fan base of people who continue to keep playing the game. Now it's a battle royale game. Now I'm not saying make a battle royale game, but it's a live game as a service.
Isn't that what you're saying though? Like
I know. I'm not saying change Halo to
at least the multiplayer. Should it be battle royale? I mean, because that's popular.
No.
You look at what Call of Duty did with Warzone. I mean, Warzone's really popular right now.
Yeah, but I'm not. They could make a mode like that, sure. But then Call of Duty also has a different format. There's a different Call of Duty that comes out every single year. And how does Activision do that? Where they have like 3 different studios that are working on a separate actual Call of Duty game to drop on an annual basis. And if you can't keep up with that schedule, then you're going to get bounced out like one of those studios did. I can't remember which one, but one of them got their game dropped because they couldn't keep up. That's how Activision does it. 343 can't do that. They can barely handle getting one game out within every 3 or 4 years. So what they have to do, I think, is that they need to move this more towards a looter shooter. And now I'm not saying
so like Anthem.
No, not like Anthem.
Add a bunch of different weapons and stuff like that.
No, I'm saying a successful looter shooter, not a piece of shit looter shooter. I'm talking about, and although this we can discuss, and I'm glad Forte's not here to hear me say this, but Destiny has a thriving community of players that, even though Bungie don't seem to actually respect their opinions on things, but they have been pretty faithful.
Well, in fairness, though, that is a tough genre to be in, though. You can't please everyone.
True, but they have the size to do a looter shooter. Most successful looter shooter games are supported by a developer that has north of 500 developers working for them, and they have that. They have the ability to take it in that direction, and then they can do annual big content drops for Halo Infinite, and it will keep people coming back to the game. They got Game Pass that will make it easy for people to just jump right in. I think that's the only way to make Halo any more. Yeah, of course he shows up now. That's the only way to make Halo any more relevant than it is right now. If not, they make Halo.
So you're saying
hold on. Aesthetically, they've already gone back to what the old, what it used to be. They're already trying to tell the Halo community, hey, we're gonna make it just like how it used to be, which is only resonates with people who played the game 2 decades ago.
Like
it's 2020, man. Yeah, I mean, look.
So
I was one of those people.
I have a question.
I have moved on. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Are you saying that they should have never let go of Bungie then?
Oh yeah. Look, we've had this conversation a million times. They should have never let go.
I'm gonna go to Forte about this. Forte, I don't know how much you heard the conversation.
I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. I just got through drinking 22 straight shots of Quabba Wobble. So,
Woo! Oh boy. Yeah, okay. Ooh. Jesus, ooh. 22 shots of Quabba.
I'm up to 22 right now, bro.
Hey, Forte, no mas.
I ain't no quitting here, man. Ain't no.
Nah, you need it.
Another one, I gotta go.
You gotta quit. You gotta quit, sir. No more.
No.
Okay.
Dignity and life respect is on the line in this household, man. I gotta outdrink my wife every year.
Oh, okay.
I'm not, nah, man.
Hey, I ain't mad at you.
I don't know what's going on, man. Right. All I know is I walked in on a conversation about Halo. That's all I know. So what? So
the question is how. So we're talking about. So Ryan McCaffrey basically put out a tweet talking about Halo Infinite and the importance of Halo Infinite as relates to the Xbox Series X, and and as it relates to the new Xbox Studios. And this is the first game that's coming out from Xbox Studios, big AAA game. Does this game make or break Xbox Studios or the Series X? What are your thoughts, man? Like, does it need to go? Because we always compare 343 versus Bungie, which I think is a fair comparison. Does this game need to exceed? Because I really feel like this. This is the first Halo game that's launched with the Xbox console since Halo Combat Evolved, and there's a lot of eyes on this game, right? Because of the hardware, the most powerful console, if you will, the new
new engine and everything.
New engine and the emphasis on the input into or investment into Xbox Studios.
Right.
Is this game a deal breaker or a game maker for Xbox Studios and Xbox Series X?
That's complicated, especially during right now. Xbox has kind of went into different directions with their platform in general, where the box isn't the most important part of that ecosystem anymore. In years past, yes, Halo would be the one that would usher in the generation and get people excited for what's coming on down the line. And I kind of think Microsoft has been like playing it twofold a little bit, just for the simple fact that they don't mind where you play the games at. And when you do that, you kind of set up this expectation that it really doesn't matter about the system in general. It's all about the platform. Halo doesn't mean really anything when it comes to the platform of Xbox. It matters on when it comes to you buying the system, though, because that's the first thing that people are going to see when it comes to buying that next gen system. Like I got a video coming out either tonight or tomorrow morning. I don't know what time I'm going to release it. It all depends if I can actually muster up the energy to render it out tonight. But it's basically just going over that simple fact, how this June, July event is so important to them. And it's not just Halo that is the number one thing that's going to make this make or break this event for Microsoft. It's first party in general. People are looking forward to what this system is. I think everybody's pretty much in the bold in saying that Game Pass it's a game changer. It's something that every platform holder should have when it comes to your system when you promote your games, because it's very consumer friendly when it comes to to an offering when it comes to giving you all their first party games. Now, I'm not saying every first party is going to do that, but Microsoft is doing that. So it makes it appealing because all the rest of the games are third party, which is 90% of the offerings for a system when it comes out. So you're getting great value there. But if the top end isn't like I like to quote what LeBron said a few years ago when he said we're top heavy as hell. We need to do something about this roster. That's what Xbox needs to do. They're top heavy. The rest of the roster needs to be filled out. That's why we need to see stuff like Forza, like Fable. Fable is something that is completely missing from their stable, even though it's an old IP and it's something that they did dabble in back in the past. It was an RPG that people enjoy and endure and loved. And the fact that most people that play RPG games go back to PlayStation for that, or they'll go on Nintendo to get those games, that's a huge market share that Microsoft's missing on. So I think if they can buffer that side of their ecosystem more than anything, that they can survive a launch of Halo being utter trash, because the expectation of Halo right now for a lot of people is I don't trust 343. So
wow.
That's what my expectation is. My expectation is if they don't do good with this Halo, I'm pretty much done with Halo. Because it is yeah. And the sad thing about it is it's not because of Halo, it's because of the stewardship of the people who have Halo that makes it be that way. Halo in its own, if Halo was to go into another developer's hand, I think a lot of people would have hope that Halo will come back to being what we want it to be. But we've seen this
really?
We've seen this right before. That's the problem.
It depends on the developer. But it does to a degree, I agree with you. But
to a degree, yes, but the biggest thing is I'm not saying just give it over to like a brand new Joe Blow studio, but if you were to tell me that the Initiative with all the talent they got there and they're not even proven, I would probably have more faith in the Initiative doing something with Halo, because I feel like they have something to prove with Halo, because that's a brand new studio and that would be their first mark as a game development studio to give us a pinnable version of what a Halo game would be. Compared to 343, it just feels like everything is scattered all over the place. And it's not saying, and it's the thing, I don't want to say that they're a bad developer. It's not that they're a bad developer, because they got a lot of ex-Bungie employees on that staff. So there are people that remember what Halo was, but think about it. The Halo 2 just released on PC and it's broken. How is a game broken on PC that you literally all you're doing is making a version to bring it over?
I mean, Forte, they usually contract that stuff out, though. I mean,
that's in-house. Don't matter.
No,
that is in-house.
That's in-house.
Oh, they got 600 developers. They're not contracting that out.
There's contracting there, though. But there is contract, but there is quality of assurance, though. There is QA that needs to be done.
Listen, who's gonna blame? All right, Destiny, for example. The Season of Opulence was built by Vicarious Visions. They were the ones that built the Menagerie. It was by far one of the best DLCs that came out for Destiny. They built the Menagerie, they built the Chronosaur raid, which was one of the better raids in the game, and people give them credit for that. But guess what? They don't talk about Vicarious Visions being the ones that built that raid. They talk about Bungie knocked it out the park with Season of Opulence.
That's pointless to this, because everything everything that is being done on Halo is being done by 343. They don't have a secondary studio.
They're not outsourcing? I always feel like they outsource like stuff like this.
They have an internal, they have a different team within 343.
Yeah.
That's doing that. I am positive. I remember seeing them talk about that Halo, right before they started with all the launch of all the Halo games on PC. I remember them talking about how a small team was doing all of that. So for them, a small team is like 50, 60 people, but still, it's a team of people who are doing that, and they're all in 343.
Look, my biggest problem with 343 right now, and you're right, Slomo, but I was just drawing that comparison basically just to say I don't care, because Bungie is ultimately the people that look at for that DLC. I don't care if somebody else built it in the first place. If 343 puts out a bad Halo game on PC, it's not the people who made the deals, the game for Bungie over on what's the name. It's fucking 343 sucks at it. Vicarious Visions built Destiny on PC. Do you hear people saying, "Oh, VV build a really good version of Destiny on PC"? No, they talk about, dude, Bungie knew what they were doing. They took their time. It was validated why they waited 3 months to release or 2 months to release it later on PC. You don't hear people talk about the other developers, so I don't care about who the other developer is, if there is another developer, because it all falls at the feet of 343 in the end. And right now, confidence is shaken with that developer. Even more, like, I was willing to give them pass after pass after pass, but now you see the Master Chief Collection come out broken, not working, glitches all over the place. And the number one clause that they always say when they said that we were releasing these things, that people kept saying, why aren't you just releasing the whole thing all at once? They said the games will be ready when the games are ready. We will not sacrifice the quality of the game to just rush it out. And what did they do? They brung out Halo 2 in a broken state. So that right there just lost hope for me. I'm kind of like, at this point, yeah, Sony's riding high with all their marketing and all their information. It looks like at this point, it kind of looks like 343 is probably going to end up delaying Master Chief because it's. Well,
I've heard I heard Infinite might get delayed. It's going to get delayed.
Infinite was the sources I can hear from sources say it was like September. It was supposed to come out in September. No,
I heard it's going to get delayed to like early first quarter of 2021.
I think they want that game to make it this year.
Go ahead, E.
They just said on Uncharted, though. Not Uncharted. Sorry. My mind.
No, that's a good franchise. I'm just kidding.
They said on Unlocked that in an interview with Phil, he was saying like some of these at-home studios are being held up by getting things done like mocap and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because they can't get into a studio and actually do any mocap because of social distancing and all that stuff. Yeah,
so he's still confident that the consoles.
I'm hearing from people. I'm hearing from people about 343 that hit them the hardest because 343 didn't get anything done during the first month of quarantine because they weren't set up for it. We all know how a lot of these businesses struggled when it first happened with these quarantines and not being set up remotely to work from home. I hear 343 was hit really hard. They literally did nothing for the first month of quarantine, and that really is going to come out, and that's why that game looks like it's going to probably get delayed.
Yeah, I mean,
I've
heard. You know, it's funny. Like you guys remember early on, there was some issues with some of the internal staff. Remember, there was some turnover with the development of Halo Infinite, and I've heard that this game is not going to make launch the actual day and date launch, but will make the launch window. All right, who knows if that's true?
So that's like basically before the year is up.
End of year to I think early January.
I think it's going to try to at least make this year. If all they missed was a month of time of development, then and they were shooting for September. Yeah, they probably can still get it out October, November.
Let me ask you. I mean, like I feel like the optics on this game though. Like if this game is the first Halo game to launch with a new Xbox console, I feel like there's a lot of eyes on this. If it doesn't blow it out of the park, right? And again, I go back to the question: Does it give a blow to the new Xbox studios in the Series X? I know B Money said. I know you said it didn't. It won't because there's other talent studios, but I think it might though because this is their bread. This is the Halo to me is the Mario, if you will, of Nintendo for the Xbox. Right? This is their biggest franchise.
But Enrique, we just talked about how obsolete and archaic this franchise is.
Mario's not obsolete.
That Mario gets fresh games all the time.
Origami in a minute, man.
Exactly. There's a Mario game that comes out every year, and it's completely fresh, completely different, and it gets the
But
Nintendo
slow-mo.
community
But slow-mo. There's
engaged.
There's people that
Halo doesn't have the same impact.
There's people that say that there's no such thing as, franchise fatigue because they always point to Mario, right? When they talk about Halo. How can you talk about a Halo like this? Because, Mario's been around for 40 years,
Mario's always different.
Yeah. It's not an apples to apples comparison.
They come out with 2D games. They come out with RPGs. Mario's always different. Mario Kart, they switch it up every time. It's not the same game. If it was only 2D games that we played every time we played Mario, then people would be like, yo, I'm not playing this shit no more.
Right.
The funny thing is, it's like the complete opposite for Halo right now. Halo will succeed better if it is this amazing, groundbreaking game that everybody wasn't expecting. It will do amazing, but I just think everybody at a certain point looks at it like it's just Halo until they prove that they can do something different with it. And that's why I think it's not, in people's eyes, Halo hasn't been. I think people just need to get away from the fact that Halo 3 is right around the corner. The days of how people play games, think about arena shooters in general. They're not even as big. Like, people don't play arena shooters no more. So that's why half of Halo, as much as the multiplayer is a really good sticking point for people, that type of game doesn't land on the community no more like that.
Warzone.
Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier, like right before Forte jumped in, that they need to shift Halo from its current format to either to what is popular now. And I'm not saying make it just nothing but a battle royale game. Not at all.
But
if you want to do a mode,
but it's got to have a mode, though.
A mode's fine. It needs to be more, considering what kind of game this is in its history. It needs to be more towards a loot shooter, and it needs to have a constant stream of.
Slow-mo. You're describing Destiny.
They could probably do it better though, because you have a story that makes sense. A story that makes sense.
Yeah, you got some good foundation here. You don't even have to reinvent the wheel. You got a story that makes sense, which Destiny never had. You got characters that people care about, and you have lore that you can just build off of. They could just do that and just do consistent content drops on an annual basis, and Halo will be fine, I think.
Look, they can literally go through the books, they can go through the games, they can go through sagas, they can bring up different eras in the Halo universe at that time. They have such a breadth of content they can go through with that game that would just bring nostalgia back to a lot of people. That is what I think. Like, people don't want the next Destiny, but Halo is Destiny, honestly. If Bungie would have had their way, Halo would have been this. It would be no Halo. It just converted over to this and been whatever they needed to be. But Halo is
they wanted this. They teased Destiny in ODST.
But Microsoft didn't want that back then. Halo was, think about it. They're coming off of, when Bungie wanted that separation, they're coming off the biggest entertainment blockbuster sale ever of a game. Halo 3 sold 11. It doesn't seem like a lot now, but you're talking about in the first 2-3 weeks, 11 million copies sold. Microsoft, that game was plastered everywhere in the world. Like, it was like a party for Halo everywhere. So it's like you're coming off of that, and you go to ODST, and then they're sitting. And the only reason ODST was made is because they for Bungie to get out of their deal, they had to make three games. They had to make three games. Yeah. ODST was one of them, and then what was it? ODST,
Reach,
and something, or it was two games, ODST and Reach.
So Forte, what's interesting about that? A lot of people don't know this behind the scenes, though. And like, we always hear about, like, Microsoft's got a lot of money, right? And if you go back to history, Ed Freeze talked about this with the OG Xbox. They were left to their own devices. For the Xbox troop was. Nobody messed with the like Microsoft as a company. They're like, yeah, this is bullshit. We're not gonna invest in the game division and whatever. We're all about Windows. Halo dropped. Different story. And Ed Freeze actually quit, left Microsoft, and everyone's talking about they have all this money. When you have money, the suits are involved. You know what I mean? The suits are involved. Anytime you talk about money, the suits are always involved. Ed Freeze left Microsoft because they wanted to push the release date of Halo 2. And they did that. And he was like, I'm done. You cannot put a timeline on creativity. And,
You're right, you can't.
And so that, I thought that was telling from a historical perspective. And I'm not so sure if 343 is under that same gun. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I don't know. But I will say this: I do think, and I'm going to go to our next topic. I do think, though, this game has a lot of eyes on it. I think a lot's riding on Microsoft with the success of this game.
I disagree, though. I think things have changed enough now that if Halo fails, all right, Halo failed. What else?
But Solomon, what else they have to show?
Next game.
What else they have to show, though? Go ahead, B.
They got
like 5 million, and that's not a fail for them. They did their job, and they just move on to whatever the next game is.
Right.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? If Halo Infinite fails, well, they're just going to shut down and not like the 15 studios they just going to stop making games.
Let me ask this: if Halo Infinite fails, do you think they'll make another Halo game immediately?
No. This is the last. This is the last Halo game. I truly believe that. This is the last Halo.
I think 343 could learn a lot going to a new IP. I feel like there's something when an entire studio of current employees go, we want something that invigorates us here today. And 343 hasn't had that opportunity, right? Who are doing what other people were passionate about.
Yeah, they definitely need to. If this game fails, 343 needs to do something else, and they need to put someone else on Halo. Yeah, I think for it to be successful, it needs to have a very strong campaign, way better than Halo Guardians campaign. And I think it needs to shift more towards a looter shooter in kind of end game. So from going forward, after you complete the campaign, you get to create your own Spartan, make them a Spartan class 4, whatever, and then you create your own Spartan, and then from there you use that player in like in-game content, PvE content, PvP, all the additional stuff that happens from then forward. They say they do a big expansion in 2021. This is the character that you are now using, your Spartan, your guy going forward, and still have the Chief around and actually doing things. But this is the way you got a little bit more agency into it. It's more about your character, and then the Chief could actually get a personality.
Well, the
Chief does have a personality.
Well, no, he doesn't. He does not have a personality. Intentionally, the developers said
he's a stone cold killer, man. Come on,
without a personality because they want him to be an everyman.
He's a killer.
Look, man,
they're all killers. That means nothing.
I agree.
That's
the biggest thing is they need to find a way.
You can say John's a killer. He's got a personality.
The biggest thing they need to do is find a way to separate you from Chief by the end of the time that you're with.
They should kill him.
No, they don't need to kill him. I've
been preaching that for years. Kill Master Chief.
Yes, and you've been wrong for years.
Kill Master Chief.
Kill him.
Hey, they need to do something. Okay,
they
need
kill
to
him.
do something.
Why not kill him? Why not kill him?
Killing him doesn't fix the problem.
Yes, it does.
It does not. No, because the biggest thing is listen, you will get more ROI out of a character like Chief that is like a steward of the game that you go and you interact with after you already beat the campaign than anything else. You won't. Killing him doesn't do anything.
I want to go to specialist Kofi.
Killing him at this point.
Let me ask you something.
Killing him at this point kills the franchise. Because you have not established any other characters that can actually carry the torch.
You got Locke.
Beyond this, you kill Master Chief. You might as well just don't make another Halo game.
But you got Locke.
Because no one gives a shit about Locke. That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point.
Even gonna be in Halo?
Wait, time out. Kofi, go ahead, man. What were you gonna say?
No, I kind of agree with the last point that was just getting said, that if you had established a world that had exciting, I don't know, other Spartans that you're excited about, you could immediately jump to them if you want to kill Master Chief in some sort of glorious way.
You don't have that.
You haven't done that, and that's So now it's going to be like, well, okay, he's dead, but hold on, wait for our trailer and next E3, and then we'll tell you about this other something that hopefully you like. That's a lot more risk.
Yeah, Ryan
time to impress people.
Ryan Landis in live chat says, "Kill Mario too." Well said, sir. Yeah.
What are we going to classify a fail?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's
bad reviews.
Like nobody on Twitch watching it.
I would say reviews that are like Metacritic score average that's below an 80. And
I think this game's gonna be like an 85.
So,
I mean, 85 is 85 would be fine. But if it's below an 80,
we're gonna classify it a fail. If people say
came out.
If people say I actually like Halo 5 better. If people say I like Halo 5 better than Infinite's a fail.
Yeah, true.
But I mean,
if people stop playing it after a month, it's a wrap. That's a fail.
Well,
yeah.
But are we
all about the combat loop now, man?
Are we putting too much emphasis on the fact that Halo Infinite needs to be like a 90 Metacritic?
I think you are.
I don't think it needs to be a 90 Metacritic.
My whole thought process on games have changed so dramatically. Because
you play Destiny, it's trash.
No, the score doesn't really indicate what a person's feelings of the game will be.
Yeah, because you play Destiny.
No, because it's all about a combat loop. Like I'm playing.
Because you play Destiny, it's trash.
Listen, I haven't played Destiny in 3 days because I refused to log into that game.
3 days, dude. 3 days is not a long time.
And guess what?
If you said 3 years, different story.
No, listen. I'm not going to quit.
I deleted it the other day.
I'm not going to quit the game because I enjoyed the game.
Destiny.
Thank you,
but
Slow-Mo.
the biggest thing is, it's all about a combat loop. That's all it's about. Combat loop is good. The game, people will enjoy the game. People will deal with a bunch of bullshit in the game as long as the combat loop is great.
Forte, you are part of the problem, sir.
Oh, okay.
We want quality. We want quality.
So let me ask you this. So
not quantity.
You know what? A low 80s game won Game of the Year last year. So
exactly.
the Metacritic, having a 90 Metacritic is nothing but bragging for fanboys. It means nothing. The game needs to be successful by the community actually enjoying the campaign and having a addictive multiplayer portion, whether it's PvE or PvP, that people will consistently come and log in months after the game launches and continue to keep playing like Halo used to have back in the day. The thing is that the way people used to play multiplayer games and first-person shooters 2 decades ago is different than how they play it now. They don't play that kind of game like that anymore now.
But should Microsoft know that though? They're always the head of the technology and everything, and games
they're ahead of technology. They're not ahead of gaming.
They're not ahead of gaming, right? Look,
they gotta change the way they do games.
I'm gonna say
services on lock.
Look, you wanna know why? I'm gonna tell you why Sony dominates like they do when it comes to these games.
Sony does not dominate, sir.
Nintendo dominates. Well, how Sony between Sony and Xbox. People always complain about Sony not having multiplayer games. They don't have their own multiplayer, fix when it comes to most of their games. Really much all their games except for Killzone. But the thing they do have is those experiences.
Uncharted has multiplayer.
Okay, whatever. I'm just going to move on from that point.
It does. It has multiplayer.
It does, and it's one of the few they have. You're right, it does. But people didn't play Uncharted for the multiplayer. And the biggest thing is most people didn't buy those games because of the multiplayer. The biggest thing that Sony really wins on is those one and dones. And those are experiences that people literally love and they cherish and they take with them throughout generations and stuff. The multiplayer is something like, as much as I love Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1, I played over 100 days worth of Modern Warfare, the first Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But I don't remember the time I put in multiplayer. I remember that single player. I remember the second one in Modern Warfare 2, doing a Mile High Club. I remember killing Makarov at the end of part 3. Even though those games were all about multiplayer for most people, I remember those single players. because those are the things that came back and got with me. Why did people love the first Halo? It wasn't because of the multiplayer. The story, the narrative was amazing. The world was great. Then you get Halo 2. So single player wasn't as it ended on a cliffhanger, but the story was great, but the multiplayer was amazing. And then Halo 3 was the best of both worlds. So it was like, it's all about, if you nail the single player, and you have a really good multiplayer, if that's what Halo used to have, you got the best ingredient.
Hey, I want to address something real quick. X-Hawk says, I don't trust Metacritic or media bias sites. Bro, you would be saying that shit if those sites agree with your opinion. That's just facts.
And also, I appreciate JCat in the chat saying Sekiro didn't have low 80s. That's true. Sekiro was in high 80s and low 90s.
It's like an 88 or 89.
Yeah, but like we had multiple Game of the Year nominees last year. That and if you're a Game of the Year nominee, your game is successful. Your game did well, and with multiple ones that were in the low 80s last year. So
real quick. I want to. I'm sorry, Forte. I didn't mean to cut you off. Man,
no, go ahead. No, you're good.
I do want to transition off the Halo topic.
I literally starting to sober up, so you're good.
All right, cool. Take another shot. So
they ain't caught me yet. So
yeah. So, by the way, everyone, thank you so much for joining us, and everyone in the live chat. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please share out the link to the podcast as well. Definitely appreciate the support as always. And I want to get to the next topic as we talk about Game of the Year contenders. Sony just showed us Ghost of try to pronounce this correctly.
I thought the next topic was about my birthday. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to that late. We're gonna save the best for last, like Vanessa Williams. So,
hey, the super chats are open. Anything your weekend gets comes to me.
Yes. By the way, hey, Forte's birthday's coming up. If you want to gift Forte, we see color today. Woo!
Yeah, it's not coming up, brother. It's here right now.
Forte,
for the next hour, 2.5 hours.
Happy birthday,
happy birthday, bro.
Mr.
Thank you.
Forte.
That's why I'm treating. Oh Lord, what the hell's going on here?
Happy birthday, Forte.
Yo, which one of y'all drank tequila?
That's what I'm saying.
Right. Like, what?
Forte, hey, I love you, Forte. Hey, happy birthday, Forte. Let me tell you something. I love you, dude. Happy birthday. If I could hug you, I would. Hey, show Forte some love in the chat. We see color birthday, right?
Oh Lord, y'all ain't got to do that for me. I'm just
we do. So on that note, I do want to go to the next topic, with regards to Ghost of and Kofi. I'm probably pronouncing this incorrectly. How do you pronounce Ghost of what?
So the natives in Japan, they say Tsushima, so it's kind of like intonation starts high. But I'll be honest, guys, I'm not gonna be boiling over if you just say Tsushima. You know, just
well, how do you pronounce it? Is Shishima?
It's Tsushima. So
sushi muffins,
it's not SU, it's a TSU sound of tsu, but it kind of has like a rising Tsushima. Like you start high on your intonation and then you kind of come down. Tsushima.
All right. Okay. So,
but it's okay. You can just say Tsushima.
Right. I'm gonna say Tsushima. Tsushima. So
it's all good.
So we saw more gameplay, and I gotta say, guys, look, Sony. Like the one thing that what's funny, like when I hear people, I'm gonna take some jabs tonight. So I love it when I see people doubt Sony. Sony's been consistent for 30 years as it relates to first party AAA exclusives. They just have. I mean, there's a reason why the PlayStation brand is the top selling brand according to Guinness Book of World Records of all time. And Ghost of I'm gonna try Tsushima. I'll probably butcher that, but Ghost of Tsushima. I mean this game, what we saw from Sucker Punch. I mean, is this Sony's? I mean, the PlayStation 4 has been recognized for AAA bangers, if you will, has been recognized by the industry. There is a consensus that these games have been some of the best games from a first-party perspective released this console generation. I know people try, most people play third parties. You know what? That's bullshit. third parties that are across every system. These first party games are the ones that really tap into the hardware of the consoles and really do things that most third party games don't do. Is Ghost?
Hey, Enrique.
Yeah,
we missed a super chat from Justin Maroney.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Justin. He said hit the like button, all for number 23.
The GOAT 23. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, Justin. We also have
we also have another one from Seafood Poetic X Initiative, $5 super chat. Happy birthday, bro. That's over. That should be directed towards Forte.
That is Forte. That is going to you, sir. Forte passed out. Forte, are you there?
Forte went to go get some more shots, man.
Shot. Forte, or where are you? Forte passed out. What if he started snoring like he did that one time?
That would be great, actually. I would actually love that. That would be pretty awesome. That might still happen. We'll have to see what happens.
That might happen, yeah. That's too funny. So I forgot what I was saying. So Ghost of Tsushima, is this? What do you guys think based on what we saw? Because I think the trailer was hot. I think that the one thing that I loved was that like nod to that old school black and white kung fu samurai movies that we used to watch when we were younger. At least I did. You could play it like that, and the music. So, do you guys? And I'll go to you, Kofi, first. But do you think this is going to be Sony's PlayStation 4's next big AAA banger?
So I'm going to answer that question second. First things first. When I first saw this trailer get announced, like what was the 2018 E3 performance where Jin is fighting against the female samurai and she ends up, being his opponent. I was in love with this. I'm a huge fan of Sucker Punch Productions because I didn't really like open world games until playing Infamous from 2009. So I was on board. I love that they had an opportunity to go out to Japan, do their research on what Tsushima Island was like, at least what they could do to the best of their abilities. Okay, and then to last week, seeing the actual sit down, here's some gameplay trailer, I fell in love again. I love the criticalness at which you need to strike with as a samurai. Technically, it would be samurai. I will be playing the samurai role probably the most. I'll be honest. As soon as the collector's edition with the mask was available, got it. I'm just head over heels for this game. I'm so excited that we get a new IP this late. In terms of it being the next big franchise, I don't know. I want to see more in this particular time, the 1200s, when the Mongol invasion is happening. I think there's a lot you can do. Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like Sucker Punch may try to go in a different direction again. Maybe that's me, making too many assumptions. But I do think it's going to sell well. I think our current situation going on in the world is going to give this game a huge boost in sales.
So you don't think I'm crazy to think you don't think it's going to be overshadowed by The Last of Us Part 2, which comes out a month before?
I think right now, here's what I think. Since 2019 started, or since the release of Spider-Man, PlayStation has this reputation that's everything that they're going to release is probably either going to be well reviewed or sell fairly well, barring Media Molecule's Dreams. That didn't sell well, but it still got really good reviews. But after Spider-Man came out, it's almost like, I'm going to give a quick comparison to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with some of their movie releases. Not a lot of people liked Captain Marvel. But guess what? It made $1 billion. And I think it's because movie after movie after movie that comes out and people love it, people just want to be a part of that experience with PlayStation. So now they see The Last of Us. They see Ghost of Tsushima. They're just going to do well. I think because of the reputation PlayStation has had just in the look at Days Gone, right? Days Gone didn't even get good reviews.
I love Days Gone, by the way.
Yeah. And I love Days Gone too, by the way. But it sold really well. It even sold well in Japan, which was really interesting to me. I think that Days Gone sales was better than God of War sales in Japan, which is blows my mind.
Really?
Yeah, I could go back to confirm that, but I'm fairly sure. And that's kind of more to the argument I'm trying to make. Once you had that one banger, people are like, oh, well, what else y'all got? Oh, you got Spider-Man. Oh, shoot, Spider-Man, go. all right, well, check out Days Gone. Maybe Days Gone's a disappointment, but I think that expectation is just, I don't know. That's just what I think I see. So I expect Tsushima to not be, cannibalized by Last of Us sales. I think both are going to be very successful.
All right. Your boy's back. Number 20, 24, and 25 is down.
Oh my, slow-mo.
I gotta get to my birthday age. It gets rougher and rougher the older you get.
Oh no, you don't need to do that because we don't need getting alcohol poisoning. Because
I don't need to, but I probably won't make it there.
You're not exactly a spring chicken here. This is not like you're hitting 21 and you're doing 21 shots. You get to your birthday age, we're gonna be calling you an ambulance. So.
16 away, baby. 16 away.
Oh my God. ER is not playing right now, man.
We ain't gonna make it to that number, bro. This is the game of how close you can get to it before 12 o'clock, and I don't know. I don't know.
You gotta coordinate.
I don't know, man. It's a little rough. Yeah. I'm sweating. It's hot.
He said I'm sweating. That's not good, dude. You should not be sweating,
bro. Woo. Okay, I'm good.
Slow-mo, call his mom.
Call my mom. Call his mom.
Tell him to come get him.
Yeah.
No, look. I actually this might be a spicy take, but I think The Last of Us 2 will of course
I'll be right back.
Sell better. Cool. I think it will sell better than Ghost, but I think Ghost will be received better. If that makes sense. I think the overall reception of Ghost will be more positive
or like fans.
Both. And that's based off of the fact that I have kind of been spoiled for a lot of the stuff that leaked on The Last of Us 2. So my general overall feeling about the story direction that Naughty Dog took, and then in addition to how good Ghost looks right now, I think that Ghost is not going to sell as well because it's a new IP. New IPs don't sell as well as more established IPs, especially sequels to really, really well-received games. The Last of Us 2 is going to outsell Ghost. It's a guarantee, slam dunk. It's going to happen. But I think Ghost will be the game that, like, a year from now, we will talk about Ghost and more than we will talk about The Last of Us 2.
I feel like Ghost is gonna be really similar to Infamous, a way that like people slept on the first game, and you know what I mean. As time went on and people were talking about it, people got more hyped for like the second game or like what they would do next. I feel like this is kind of like the same situation. I feel like a lot of people, like the core audience is there for Ghost, but I think a lot of people on the outside are like, whatever. And I don't think the game is going to sell that well. And I think it's going to be received well. I think it'll probably have, a decent like review score, but it'll probably sell like 1 million, 1.5 million, 2 million. Then it'll just kind of be like one of those things that the people who know about it will know about it, and everybody else is just going to be on the outside.
Yeah. We got Guapzilla in the chat saying The Last of Us 2 is going to get a 97 meta. Dude, that's not happening. It's not getting a 97 meta. Nah. Look, someone else is also asking, why am I disregarding the gameplay? I'm not disregarding the gameplay. The game can play, wonderfully. And it's not about LGBT anything. All of these characters were strictly heterosexual. The story choices made, in my opinion, I think aren't going to be very, very, very receptive to. Period. Now, don't want to get any further into that because I don't want to ruin anything, of course. But I think the game can play well. But like for these kind of games, for that kind of game where everything that people talk about The Last of Us 2 about, first of all, the original game, no one talks about the original Last of Us and says, man, that gameplay was awesome. No one cares about the gameplay like that. They talk about the story, the characters, the impact, the things that happen, the certain story beats that people talk about. They talk about those things that were epic. Think like the impact that we didn't really get out of any other games prior to that. That's what they talk about. And I think when you have that from the previous game, it's the same expectation that you carry over to the next. People want that same level of story, and then they also want more. So they want the gameplay to be better. They want everything else to be better than the previous game. I think the gameplay will be better. I think so far from what I see, I don't think the story is going to be better. So I think it can be a very high, extremely high quality game, but not actually meet expectations, if that makes sense. And so therefore, that's where it doesn't really it's not received as well. Whereas Ghost of Tsushima, straight brand new IP, expectations are high because it's a Sony first party game, but it has a lot more. It doesn't have the weight of trying to live up to a previous classic epic game to deal with. So that's why I kind of feel like this one will be received received better than the other.
But Slimo, don't you think that it might live? And I think that's a great example with, The Last of Us Part 2. It does. There's a lot of weight behind that because it's the sequel to what many consider the game of the generation. But isn't there a lot of expectation placed on Ghost of Tsushima because it is the next AAA game, if you will, banger with Sony on a platform that has really delivered a lot of great AAA games. We talk about God of War, the Uncharted 4 game, even the sequel to Uncharted 4, the spinoff.
Yeah, but I mean that kind of comes with the territory of being a AAA first-party game for a major platform. Literally every single
Infamous
platform,
well,
every single platform has that now. Like every Microsoft game that comes out, like Wasteland 3 was when that game started. No one thought about this game being a first-party AAA game and the expectations it would have, but that's what it's got now. When it comes out in August, people are going to look at it and judge it based upon the fact that you are a first party developer for a major platform now. It's the same thing for Nintendo games. So that kind of expectation is going to come with Ghost regardless of whatever happens. It came with Days Gone. It does Spider-Man. It doesn't matter what game that Sony drops. It's going to be that same expectation. But I think it being a new IP still gives it some leeway where people can say let it breathe, let it live on its own, Breathe. So it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I said breathe.
Yeah.
The song.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm gonna grab a super chat from my buddy One Bad Mother. Says, let's hope Ghost of Tsushima inspires the stealth genre to come back. Happy birthday, Forte. Let's find you a second game to play this year. That is fact. And by the way, speaking of the stealth genre, I mean, I got Tenchu vibes. I don't know if you guys have played Tenchu, but Tenchu, oh my God. That's one of the franchises I want to come back.
Yeah.
So I don't know, guys. I go ahead.
I was asking Eve what he thought about Ghost and where it's gonna land.
I'm kind of on the same wave as you, man. I don't think it's gonna be that game that necessarily lights the world on fire, but it can definitely light a new IP franchise.
Is it better than Devil's Third?
What? No. Nothing's better than Devil's Third, Enrique. But no, I think it's kind of going to probably be that spark, and kind of what Kofi was saying. It could be that thing where it continues into other realms of maybe ghost type games. Maybe they're on the Gaming Perspective podcast. Sam Tobel actually said that if they're gonna go historic, maybe it then becomes the Ghost of and hits different eras of different like historical moments in life, and there's some protagonist in the game that's sort of like the ghost of something.
So like Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, it'd be something like that. But
yeah.
But like whatever, they're gonna try to hit. So, or it could be a one-off. You never know. I mean, you just don't know. But
I don't know. I think Sony is pretty good at like trying to establish like a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That's
they
true.
don't really do like one-offs. Even like with The Last of Us, like a lot of people
That's true.
They shouldn't have made like the second game or whatever. Here we are.
Yeah.
I mean, feel like this game is successful and it does 3 to 5 million. We will get like a second game.
Yeah, that's true.
Try to build out
like it'll be like a second game, but but is it another feudal Japan game, or is it just maybe it is another feudal Japan game but taking part in another century or another era or something like that.
Yeah.
So no, but yeah, I think I don't know. I don't even want to really do a meta prediction on it because again, like Slow-Mo was saying,
Let's do it. Meta what?
It only matters to a small segment, of the world, and but I think it'll exist as a game that those who understand it and get it will rock with it. But I don't know if it'll be mainstream like that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
But we gotta do Metacritic prediction, man, for shits and giggles at least. All right, so Metacritic prediction for everyone. I'm gonna go with you, E first. What do you think you guys?
47.
What? 47?
I just told you I don't care about the Metacritic prediction.
Come on, man.
No means no, Enrique.
Yeah, right. Not according to our president, but go ahead, man. B, what do you think, man?
Nothing applies to the president, man.
I think it's gonna land in the mid to high 80s.
All right.
It's not gonna be anything crazy.
So what do you think? 85, 80? What do you think, man? Nail it down, man.
86, 87, somewhere around there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
On the real, I would say like 85.
85 E.
Like
what about you,
Slow
Slow-Mo?
I would say I agree with B. Is like anywhere between 86 and 87.
All right. Kofi, what do you think, man? Metacritic score.
Guys, I might have rose-colored glasses on because I'm going 90 and Game of the Year contender.
Woo! Yes.
Okay.
What about you, Forte?
90.
Wow. Okay. And
I hope it's a 90 in the Game of the Year contender. That's what I'm looking for.
I think it's gonna be a 90 because you never got a game that's set in that era with that type of
we've never done onboard page.
Especially with that game being semi-open and stuff, with just taking just the different things that they're doing in order to traverse you through the world.
Forte, what about the black and white mode though, man? You play
Dude, I'm literally gonna probably play a game. I play that mode, not the whole game, but it's gonna be parts where I'm gonna actually play the game like that.
Playing the whole game right there.
That shit is hot.
Yeah, man, I'm capturing that game, and I'm like, I got to do it like this.
Hey, I'm playing the Kurosawa game, bro.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's funny? E, I saw your tweet about that, like the old school samurai Japanese movies, so like it was black and white, and they showed that. I'm like, wow, like to me that. Like it doesn't seem like genius to do it, but it almost is genius to do it because no one's ever done it. And it pays homage to a lot of those movies that, for me at least, that I used to watch.
They specifically mentioned that in the State of Play. It's a lot of the staff are fans of samurai cinema. So you can see that in the game. I mean, you can see that from the first time they showed it. Where that inspiration comes from.
Yeah,
I'm down.
That hack and slash game.
Yeah,
I mean, going through and slashing the enemies or whatever, like it's taking a more serious tone. Where one stab could kill you. So
I do like that though. I like that kind of the one hit kill kind of thing. It makes it gives a little bit more added tension to combat. You have to really kind of be. You can't be like laid back on your couch playing. You gotta be like, sitting up and actually being engaged and paying attention and making sure that you're not making any mistakes that could be fatal. Because that in life, that is how it should be. Like you shouldn't get cut with a katana blade like 6 times before you finally die. Like
that should not happen. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
or parry like every attack, every flurry attack. The guy swinging at you 10 times, you block each one off. The idea of it is in combat you are trying to take down an enemy as fast as possible. Yeah. You take the advantage off of their mistake. They zig, you zag.
Yeah,
right.
I will say this: I do wish they had a sake edition that came with a bottle of sake. I'll just leave it at that.
Hey, you can make that yourself.
That is true. You're right. I could go to the store and buy some cold sake, warm sake, whatever. I prefer cold sake, but yeah, sake's good. Something like that says, "Do you think your Wu-Tang sword can defeat me?" I'm all in. Plus the Shaolin and the Wu-Tang. Hey, by the way, liquid swords? What? You don't know about that.
My very first rap album was 36 Chambers of Death.
Yo,
I got that in 7th grade.
Snow, do you remember the Liquid Swords? The intro to that song was there was a girl and she was like, what did she say? I forget the words to it. She was
it's actually the son of a Ronin.
Yeah, but what were the words that she said? She was telling the story. Like my dad was a oh my god, now I can't remember.
The Shogun's decapitator, and the ninja were coming for him, and he killed each one of them.
He killed each one of them, and then the Shogun was scared of my dad or something.
He wants us to recite the whole monologue.
But that monologue though, that monologue was fire, bro.
Yeah,
and then when that beat hit, DMCs came. What? Oh my god, that shit was hot. All right, I'm gonna get the Wu-Tang kick right now, but
now's a good time. Just go back and watch a bunch of Samurai Cinema.
Oh yeah, just get pumped, get ready for it, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So guys, I want to get to the last topic of the evening. So I tweeted out that the Sony's gonna do a PlayStation 4 event for PlayStation 5. And there's a lot of rumors about games coming out. You probably seen them. People are saying that Crash Bandicoot and Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is going to be there and blah, 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 blah. A lot of games. But my understanding is it's not going to be that many games, like big first-party games that some people, the rumors that are out there. But we are going to see some third-party stuff, and we're going to see some first-party stuff and third-party exclusives that are kind of big. I'm just saying, out there. And you know what's funny? People, I love about this topic. I love that people doubt Sony. They've been doing this shit for 30 years, and Kofi, you've been a gamer for a long time, right?
Yes.
We talked about Sony. What has Sony done over the last 30 years consistently?
This is the perfect question for me because I love making this rant. One thing that typically Sony first party does is have at least half of their studios go off with a new IP each generation. Now, with the exception of adding not Infamous, I'm sorry, I meant to say a studio, Insomniac, because they were second party up until like last year. Typically, you'll get something in PS2, and then you won't see that same studio make something for the PlayStation 3. And then you won't see them make that same thing for the PlayStation 4. There are exceptions, okay? Like, for example, Naughty Dog didn't have a new IP, but Sucker Punch did, and Guerrilla Games did, and Studio Ben did. And, the list continues on. Like, if you go back to the PlayStation 3.
Kofi, real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Studio Ben's IP, The Last of Us, was kind of big because they haven't done anything. Just the first.
Talk about Days Gone.
Days Gone.
I'm sorry, Days Gone. Yeah. So they haven't. Yeah. I mean, they were regulated after Siphon Filter to mostly doing things on the Vita.
Yep. Like Golden Abyss, which I also thought was very good. But that type of reputation and that type of they have sequels, but at the same time that they have a studio allow them to pitch them a new IP, that it's an amazing. I don't mean to sound like propagandist, but it's an amazing culture to say, hey, like what else do you got? You know, we're great with having 3 kill zones. We're great with having 3 Uncharteds. We're great with having 3 Resistance games. But let's try to expand that and take it somewhere else. I have extreme respect for that. I think the industry always needs something like that.
Yeah, don't sleep on Santa Monica, man.
Yeah, and don't sleep on Santa Monica. I know there's rumors that they're going to be making a whole new game. I think it's their turn up really to have their own game. I know they at some point helped Ready at Dawn with the Order, but I know that wasn't really them. So I don't know if that really should count.
I've seen some interesting, and again, I'm not an insider. I'm just saying I've seen some things that point to a sci-fi game from Sony Santa Monica or another new studio, apparently. So,
something being directed by Corey Barlog.
Yes,
exactly.
I keep hearing things like that.
Yeah, I've seen the artwork for it, but I've shared it with you guys. I mean, but again, I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We don't know until it's officially announced.
Yeah, isn't Blue Point supposed to be doing a Demon Souls remake?
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, apparently.
But also like on the third party front, it's probably going to be all of their marketing deal games, like the Avengers is one that they have a marketing deal for, and that's coming out in September. So I'll almost guarantee that will be a game that they will showcase because it's coming out within 3 months. They need to make sure that it is getting a little bit more time to shine, getting into people's minds before it comes out. So I can see that one being one of them, as well as any other third party deals that they are just getting that kind of need to be revealed or announced and stuff like that. So yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think. I mean, they haven't had anything, as far as shows go for over a year now, right?
Yeah, I mean that's true, but
so they should have a lot to show, I would think, but we'll see.
But Slomo, would you agree that they actually kind of kicked off next gen with that Unreal demo?
No. With the Unreal demo?
Yeah.
That they didn't do anything. That was epic.
But it was running on PlayStation 5. That's my point.
But they didn't kick anything off.
But they
provided the hardware, and then they didn't say anything.
But that is synonymous with next gen, though. That demo.
Yeah. Epic's engine
on PlayStation 5.
Epic's event with Jeff Keighley. That was an epic event. That same engine is going to run on everything under the sun, even mobile phones.
I get that, and I'm not disputing that, but I'm saying they kind of kicked off. That was done in concert with Sony, and Tim Sweeney talked about that. That was done in partnership, so they kind of kicked off what we would maybe see or expect to see with next generation hardware.
No,
I think so. I feel like the articles I've seen or other influencers I've posted on YouTube, they're all like, "Hey, look at this PS5 demo." They don't even mention UE.
That's what I'm saying. That's
this Mindshare Association.
Kofi, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. It's the Mindshare, and that the idea. No one's going to say, "Oh, it's on Xbox Series X too." They're going to see PlayStation 5, Unreal 5 demo, and that's it, right? So, I mean, that's what they're going to see. And I think that's kind of the genius with Sony and what we've seen for Sony in the last 30 years. And
to take credit for work they didn't do? Because, I mean, literally, they didn't do anything.
But, Slow-mo, but it's not that they didn't do anything. It's that from a marketing perspective, it's synonymous with that demo.
I mean, we got people in the chat saying, they think it's synonymous with PlayStation 5. I mean, all right, if that's how everyone took it, then cool, okay. I guess that does work.
But I mean, how else would you take it?
If I'm Sony, and I literally didn't do anything but provide a dev kit and I get all this free marketing, that's a win-win. I'll take
But that's
that.
what they do, though. I mean, that's what they do.
Hey,
go ahead, Kofi. I heard.
Well, no, I mean,
Kofi
he's right. There are things I still am concerned with for the launch of the PS5. I don't know if we're gonna go into that detail, but
go ahead. What are your concerns, man? It's okay.
So I don't know. I end up usually debating with somebody about this, but because PlayStation typically allows their first party to max out every console generation by the end of that gen, you feel like that hardware, you got value out of that. Typically, the next generation doesn't start with a Game of the Year contender at launch. It's just historically true that maybe a game will sell well, but there's not like, oh, this game was amazing and I got it with my PlayStation and it was, Game of the Year and, went on forever. Typically, Sony will make a joke of that first, big game that they market. I'm typically, because I'm so invested in PlayStation, I like the concept of we're going to mature the tools that we learned or that we're getting for this new hardware. And by the end of this gen, it's going to be worth it. That's just what I'm used to. I think it's because I come from, I work with software. I have a software background. I don't do gaming though. But I'm used to, getting a tool, learning it for a year, and then I'm really good at it. Yeah. And so then kind of, produce more things quicker. I don't know. Just what I'm used to.
No, I mean that's a fair point. I mean, like they typically don't drop. I mean, like with PS4, they did have oh god, what's in the game they showed, the trailer for Killzone. They had
Detroit
Killzone.
Become Human.
No, they had Killzone. They had Killzone, which was a launch game, and they had Knack. So, but I'm hearing that they're going to really leverage some of the relationships they have with third party in terms of exclusives on the PlayStation 5. So if you think about games like Bloodborne, games like that, I mean, I'm not saying this would be a Bloodborne 2, but I'm hearing that they're being very aggressive with third party marketing and exclusives, like from third party developers on, the PlayStation 5. And we might see one or two, PlayStation first party exclusives in the June 4th event, but still, I mean, I do think it. Again, I know we're disagreeing about the whole PlayStation 5 and Unreal Engine 5 demo. I do think that is still a pretty big marketing, tool, if you will, for Sony. I mean, granted, it's not a Sony, first party game or anything like that, but it does show the potential of the PlayStation 5, which I thought was really impressive when we saw that demo. I mean,
look, I agree with that. The demo was very impressive. It does show the potential of next gen gaming. I would just say, like, and yeah, masterful in that they didn't do anything, but yet they still got PS5 trending. Great. I just think that it's a little too much to say they kicked off next gen with a tech demo that's not going to be an actual game. I think that's just a little too far to go.
But Slim, I don't agree with that, because if you look at the Unreal Engine 4 demo on PlayStation 4, like we've surpassed that already.
Yeah, but did anyone back then say that kicked off next gen?
Yeah,
I don't recall that. I don't recall.
Yeah, people did. I mean, that was the wow moment for next gen.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I don't really.
I don't know.
Where's Forte?
I don't know about that, man.
I don't remember.
I don't.
Forte, what do you think, Forte?
You talking about what was the wow moment for next gen?
Yeah.
I mean, for last gen?
Yeah, man.
It wasn't an Unreal Engine 4 tech demo that you don't
but it
remember.
Was, that's what showed us, though. It was years ago. That was like the promise, if you will. And we exceeded that. And we will exceed what we saw in this Unreal Engine 5 demo.
I don't know, man. There's so many different things that were wow moments throughout the whole generation. Like, the generation just got better and better as time went on. I mean,
not Destiny. Just throwing it out there, Forte, not Destiny, sir.
But speaking of which, let me see what the player count on Destiny is right now. While you up here,
go ahead
and keep on talking.
When you got a cheap,
let me pull up daily engagement. Let me pull up daily.
When you got a cheap prostitute, go ahead.
No. I don't. You about to catch one? Let's see.
No, I never catch lows. No L's here.
So yesterday.
And by the way,
listen. May 19th. 2019 overall population for Destiny was 859,000 people that played the game.
You know why? Because we're quarantined. They're bored. Because they're bored. They're quarantined.
It's more games out here. Wait, hold on, bro.
They're bored.
Wait, listen. When did Destiny 2 come out, bro? 2017? 2017, right? And everybody bored, right? So why everybody still playing Destiny when all these other games are out here for people to play?
You know why?
A whole bunch of other games are out here to play, bro. So
you know why? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
No, it ain't got nothing to do with being sick. Listen,
no, it does. It does. It absolutely does.
No, it has nothing to do with being. Listen, there is a difference between. No, it is not. It is everybody has a key game that they go back to. Like I used to do that with Warframe. I did it with Battlefield 4. I did it with NBA back in the day when I was a huge NBA head. Everybody has those games.
Which NBA game?
I can count on that game to be there when I want to play. Destiny is that A game for me because I love that gameplay. But that doesn't mean that I never thought there would have been a moment in life I wouldn't play Warframe. And this was like I put over up until recently, probably about a month ago, I had more playtime on Warframe on my Steam account than I had Destiny. My Warframe account is like 1,200 hours in that one game, and Forte, I finally surpassed it.
Forte, you only
do this anymore. I don't think any. I think I represent the majority of the 142 people who do not give a shit about Destiny and this Destiny talk right now.
No one cares about Destiny. That's why Luca doesn't bring it. Hey, look, I ain't the one
that's your mom.
I'm not the one that brung it up. So somebody here got a Destiny complex, and they just need to go ahead and admit it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, we're not going.
I'm sorry. You do.
I don't have a Destiny complex. Let's
get back on. Let's get back on topic.
Look,
Eric, we haven't heard from Eric on his opinion on this.
Yes, Eric, go ahead, please. Go ahead, Eric.
Go ahead, Eric. Please put this man in his place.
And then we're going to be money. No, we're not talking about Destiny. Go ahead, E.
No. Just put this man in his place about something other than Destiny. Why do you? You know what, E? Why do you play? Why do y'all guys play NBA so much?
What are you talking about?
Back on topic.
I'm just,
Eric,
you're just drunk and you don't make any sense right now.
Hey, Slumber, how many backslaps does Forte get right now?
6 out of 5.
He couldn't take a backslap right now.
I might.
Slumber, he could take one with taco powder.
You're right. I might pass out.
Go ahead, E. And then we're going to be money.
So back to the original question. Did they kick off next gen?
They did.
No, I'm kind of with Slow.
Come on, man. They kicked off next gen.
You kick off next gen with a game that people gonna play.
No, you don't. No, that's not true.
No,
Slumbo, that is not true.
Next gen in a few weeks.
No, it's not. Go ahead,
when they do their event.
Go ahead for E.
There's nothing there for me to say. There's nothing tangible for me to go and say I'm going to get that to start my next gen experience.
What?
Thank you.
Exactly.
It's sort of like like somebody calling you and saying, "Hey, I have a great insurance package. You can get X, Y, Z." Enrique.
Enrique.
Go ahead, man.
What they showed is promise of what could be, but until I see Enrique, I swear to God, you say "but" one more time.
I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm gonna say it again.
I'm just saying. But until I see, I swear to God, bro. Kofi, you see what I put up here with the.
I can't tell who's drunk, Enrique or
you know what I'm saying?
At this point.
It's the toss-up.
No, I'm just
Eric.
No, I'm just saying.
Can he say his point, Enrique?
He can, but I go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, what they showed was really cool, but like Slow-Mo said, it's not a game. Maybe somebody will be like, hey, you really need to make that a game and it'll happen, but that's not what we have here. We have the promise of what could be, but until I see that applied to a game that's tied to a console that I'm going to put tangible money down to own, I don't feel like that kicks off the next gen. I think it kicks off the idea of what next gen could be, but there's nothing there.
Look, man,
but
show the tech
until I'm calling
I
need to put my pre-order in.
Buddy, we've seen this before. That we have examples.
What do we see this?
The Unreal Engine 4 demo. Go ahead, B Money.
Well, but the only difference here is that with the Unreal 4 demo, it was just like in-engine assets. This was like they were actually playing a game. You know what I mean? Like it was a playable demo.
Thank you.
A lot of people felt like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, this is you know what I mean? We could potentially see from next gen. Like it's cool to see like all those tech demos from like Unreal and the and other engines that are out there. Like, you know, they're just going through showing what potentially a game could look like. You know, for them to actually show, you know, from playing the game, I mean, and different things that they showed off as far as the lighting, illumination, and stuff like that. Like all that stuff was real interesting.
Yeah,
you know,
it was interesting.
Like Slow-Mo and E said, you know what I mean? It's nothing playable. It's nothing like gonna run out and go buy that next week, or you know what I mean, look the future to pick that up on PS5. So I mean, like, yeah, it was cool, but that didn't kick off next gen for me.
My problem is I don't even know what games are going to even. That's the thing. I don't even know what games are going to even take advantage of that.
Well, like, so yeah, I've heard.
It does it. Yeah, Unreal. It's going to run. It's going to look amazing. But what games are coming out that we know are going to be using that engine?
You know, I've heard. Go ahead, Kofi.
Well, I was going to say one thing that boosted my confidence is just seeing what ended up happening with Unreal Engine 4. I think you had mentioned that, Enrique, that we now see Unreal Engine 4 surpass what the demo originally looked like. And when I play Final Fantasy VII Remake, minus some weird texture issues, this game looks incredible. Like, I feel like I'm in a movie. So if that's the journey that Unreal made with 4, oh man, I'm invested.
We're saying that it didn't look good and it's not hype, but I'm just saying Enrique's asking the question, did it kick off? And
it did. It absolutely kicked off.
No, it didn't, because I've seen stuff.
What have you seen?
How can something kick off something when I see something that look better than that on PC already?
Because we are PC gamers. We're
but you're talking. You're saying kick off. I'm talking about next generation when I already seen that type.
Because you're a PC gamer, Forte. I'm talking about next gen consoles.
Dude, next gen is next gen. Consoles are supposed to surpass PC at one point, aren't they?
That's not gonna happen.
That's what they say.
Oh my god.
That will never happen, Forte. You know that.
Okay.
Hey, no.
It happened before.
To give Forte credit, according to Twitter, games are going to run on console at 4K 120 uncompromised.
Exactly. So where is this great void in the world that's going to happen when these new systems come out that I haven't seen what I'm seeing in these demos on PC? I'm sorry. Go boot up Rise of the Tomb Raider right now with a 1080 Ti and turn every fucking thing up the Ultra and put it on the 4K TV and walk through the forest and tell me you don't see beautiful ass lighting like that.
Forte.
Come on, man. The demo looked amazing, but it did not usher in anything considered next generation.
Absolutely did. We talked about this last week.
All right, man.
The billions of triangles.
You're drinking a lot of Kool-Aid.
Way more impressive than a 1080 Ti. Because 1080 Ti doesn't have RTX.
I didn't say 1080 Ti. I said 2080 Ti.
No, you said 1080 Ti, sir.
No, I said 2080 Ti.
No, you said 1080.
I think you did. If
I said 2080 Ti, 1080 Ti, I'm sorry. Maybe because I was thinking of the card I have. Maybe
that's what exactly. Next gen, which card you don't have?
2080 Ti. 2080 Ti.
Forte. Look, here's the deal.
And there is a reason that when they went up there and they asked him about, how would this run on a 2070? I'm like, why would you ask about a 2070 when it's a 2080 Ti that would destroy that?
Forte, we had a guest on from Digital Foundry a couple weeks ago.
Good, yeah.
It doesn't sound good. We did. And he said this is next gen.
Yeah, next gen for console.
Yes, exactly. We're not talking about
I'm talking about next gen in general. Like,
what are you talking? Okay, Forte.
Oh my God! Listen.
Forte,
Dude,
Forte,
you know what Ghost of Tsushima ran on when they first showed it for the first time? They showed it on PC. They showed it on the PC the first time. Everybody's crying about the game looking like it's downgraded because it's not showing on this ultra wide thing that they showed on PC 2 years ago.
We're not disagreeing. We know PC is the best place to play games. You know that.
It ain't got to do. But when you say next gen, dude, that encompasses all the video games. That don't just
it's next gen. I'm talking about next gen consoles.
Did Xbox 360 and PS3 usher in a new graphical generation that surpassed PC for the first year or so?
The one time it did. Yes, it did. The one time it did.
It never happened before, though.
No, the one time
you just said it never happened before.
Forte, we're talking about right now. We're talking about 2020.
I can't be excited. Dude, listen, and it sounds like I'm shitting on the demo. The demo looked phenomenal. It did, but it's not like it's nothing I haven't seen before. Yeah. It looks better.
Forte, you haven't seen it yet. You have not seen that.
Okay.
I haven't seen that level of lighting in a game.
Right. I want to throw out one thing. It is hard to. I feel like us as gamers. And I consider myself a gamer. I'm not going to try to do some weird dev chair thing. But what I've seen from some technical explanations is a lot of these assets are going to be so much easy to develop for. So I can see developers looking at this like, oh my gosh, I can make. Right, but it's hard to only look at the sound and visuals and say I'm judging it based on those two things. When there's really these things on the back end that are so impressive, but it's hard, right? Because if you have Mark Cerny come back out, you're going to be like, oh, and you're going to fall asleep again.
Yeah.
Now, I agree 100% what he just said, because I think like I said, the biggest generational thing is not going to be the graphical fidelity of these games. It's going to be the performance that you're going to get from them and the ease of use that these developers are going to have to implement the things that you love to see in games the most.
Facts.
Which means you're going to get more of it, and it's going to be more crisp, and it's going to be easier for them to develop it. That's what's going to be better about this generation. But what you see on screen, unless you put them right next to each other, you're pretty much not missing anything. Literally not missing anything until you get to that ultra next generation. And think about it, you're 2-3 months, probably 4 months away from the 3080 Ti coming out. It's going to be even more push forward after that. So just seeing the demo looked amazing, and I agree 100% what he said. It's going to be easier for consoles to manufacture what you get on PC, and in some cases probably surpass it a little bit, just because the system is a closed system. It's easier to develop for. You only got to worry about the common denominator of what the system is putting out. That's all you got to worry about. You don't got to worry about the overhead of everything else that a PC has. So in certain instances, the games are going to probably run better, because that's why PCs get shitty ports sometimes. But when you get a chance to turn, a PC can literally do away with all that by just having a strong enough card. And when you see a card that outputs a visual picture like that, it's kind of just hard to say when we're talking about visually, because that's what you're talking about. Is it visually showing us what is it like ushering in next gen? No, visually it's not ushering in next gen. The tools that they're using is what's going to be next gen for consoles. That's what I think.
No, that's a great point, Forte.
I love you too.
I don't disagree.
Now I need to go take another shot because I just lost my blood.
Shot. No, seriously. I mean, the one thing that our good friend Oswald's Code has always talked about. At the end of the day, it comes down to the talent of the development studios and the tools they have. So yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and wrap.
Won something? God damn!
You won something? What?
I actually won an argument on this show. Wow. Well, Slow-Mo always buries me.
Nah. Usually actually beat Slow-Mo in argument. So.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait. Where's the record button on my keyboard?
Yeah, Slow-Mo doesn't want that. He doesn't want that.
Because Slow-Mo, because you said a week ago that I'm always taking pretty much L's from Slow-Mo. So what side of the fence are you trying to play right now?
It's your birthday. I love you.
Oh, okay, I got you. Thank you.
Big hug.
There's
for
your
that.
answer. He's
I'm
saying
listening.
that because it's your birthday.
Okay,
hey, Slobo, I will say this. You know, I find it funny if if we put out some stuff on social media.
Wait,
that was
I
not,
know where you about to go with this.
But you know,
be careful. Be careful in what you say. But continue, sir.
You already know if we put out some stuff out there and it wasn't correct, we this group right here, we would be throwing L's at each other. We know that.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll leave it at that. You know, I realize some people don't know about that culture.
Without L's.
Thank you. E. You know what, E? Some people don't know about that L culture. You know what I'm saying? You know. So, anyways, on that note, guys. By the way, great podcast as always, and we have a really big announcement. So, and I mentioned this on Crossfire. By the way, guys, on Saturday, this coming Saturday, we have Paul from Red Gaming Tech coming on to join us and talk about next generation hardware, specs, and all things gaming. And it's going to be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys do not want to miss that podcast. It's going to be freaking amazing. If you guys have questions about next generation hardware, you guys want to tune into this podcast. It's going to be huge. Paul has a lot of inside information as it pertains to next generation hardware and PC stuff too as well. So we're gonna be talking about console hardware and PC stuff as well, and how gaming is going to be console gaming is going to be impacted by the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So definitely want to check that out. On that note, I want to give a shout out to Creative Kofi. Kofi, great to finally have you on, Brap, dude. Seriously, Atlas Gods. Grandia, oh my god! You know what's funny? There's so much. There are so many games that they could bring back that haven't been brought back yet. And like you said, Grandia, I'm like, oh my god, like that. Wow, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, I feel like there are some games that have disappeared. Suikoden is another one. You know, thanks Konami for not doing anything with that franchise. But yeah, I hope that at some point, or something like Star Ocean, I hope they get actual funding for a real Star Ocean 6. Star Ocean 5 was
last Star Ocean I played was Star Ocean 3, which was kind of I didn't like Star Ocean 3. No, I didn't. I didn't like Star Ocean 3.
Shout out to Star Ocean that always has like the longest titles to their games. Star Ocean, hopelessness and the thoughtfulness of the other ocean that is like, what are you talking about? Like, just say Star Ocean 7. Damn, like it's just like, but hey, I enjoy those. I haven't played one in a while, but I remember the last Star Ocean I played. Oh man, I think that was PS3. And combat was damn good. And I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
And was it Odysseus? I can't pronounce that, but
Disgaea?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
I love Disgaea. I haven't played a lot of the Disgaea series. I played it on 3 and 4 on Vita, but that was basically it. I never played the first 2. I never got into 5, which I hear was actually really good. But I did like the item world. I don't know if you guys heard when you get part of the game, item world.
Yeah.
But definitely a nostalgic series.
Hey, Kofi, what about the Steel series or?
Oh, Cold Steel. Oh,
yes.
So I would love to make an argument for why it's the greatest series of all time. It's literally why I ended up studying Japanese. I'd love to have at some point, whenever you want to have me back, I will make an argument for why it's one of the greatest series of all time.
I keep hearing this from other people.
Yes. Yes. I don't want to rant too long, but it's an incredible series. The 4th game of Cold Steel, which is its own quadrilogy, comes out in the US this fall. But beyond that, in Japan, there is a sequel to that game. So that's the issue, that the games take 2 years to localize to English. And it is part of why, I was saying, as I studied. So I'm getting that 10th game this August, and then I'll be able to kind of review it and give people an idea of what to look forward to. So I'm very excited.
Nice.
It's my number one game. I'm like flipping backwards. So
yeah, I be meaning to try to like play it and pick it up, but I don't.
Yes. So you play on PC, so this is great. I can show you some Steam games and give you an idea of, you can actually play most of the games on PC. There's some issues in the middle there, but we'll chat and I'll give you an idea.
Yeah, let me know.
Hey, real quick. Forte, did you say they played Ghost of Tsushima on the PC?
You said what?
People in the chat saying that you said they showed Ghost.
You did say that. You did say that
on the PC.
I'm talking about the original reveal, not the new one. The original reveal.
That was on the PS4 Pro.
No, I said they probably showed it on a PC. I don't know for sure.
Then why say that if you don't know for sure?
I said they could have showed that on the PS4 because we were talking about.
They actually said it was a PS4 Pro. They said it.
Hey,
give that low.
You're like, you know what? There's a 3% chance they were lying. So I'm just going to say it was on a PC.
Shut up. I cannot be
shut up. You can't tell me shut up. You got a low, bro.
How about you shut me up with some facts?
Listen, I cannot be held for stuff that I said. What do you mean right now?
No, yes, you can. You don't get an excuse, Forte. Hold that loaf. Hold that bread, sir.
Hey, I will take that loaf for another 30 minutes.
Forte, make us sandwiches. Make us sandwiches.
The moment that I said that, I'll chalk it up to the moment that I said Ghost of Tsushima was played on a PC. Even knowing there were articles out there that said that the demo that just came out was actually played on a PC, but it was actually played on the PS4. But then they just showed the video on a PC.
All right, slow-mo. This goes back slow-mo.
That was the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, not Ghost of Tsushima.
Slow-mo wants me to take an L today. I will take an L on my birthday. I
didn't want you to take an L today, but you walked right into one. So congratulations.
The chat wants me to take an L today.
I tried to keep you from walking into traffic like you did, but you just had to, run out there.
Traffic is one way here in Michigan right now. It's not even people on the street.
Slow-mo.
Hey, look, I will type L
slow-mo
for you guys.
Slow-mo. Can I just say something real quick, man? Slow-mo. Hey, slow-mo. I love you because you're from the DMV. That was some DMV shade at Forte.
Yeah, it was.
They really was. Hey, slow. Hey.
He didn't want to throw shade at me. He don't want me to take the L, but he made sure I read. See what the chat was saying.
You understand though? Like slow-mo. We're from. Oh my god, we're from the DMV, man. That was wow. Slow-mo. I'm clapping right now. That was awesome.
Oh, look, all I'm saying is and I apologize to the chat because I should have caught that sooner. But the chat let me know that he said that. I was like,
OBJ knows.
The thing is, I'm telling OBJ, he didn't say that. I ain't hear that. And then my boy, they were like, no, he said that. I'm like, wait, hold up.
I did say that. I'm inebriated. You cannot go off inebriated now. I'm about to even call myself nautical.
So wait, how many of us are DMV here? It's like half the chat, half the panel DMV?
Me, Slow-mo, and
it's about
DMV.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man!
Are you from the DMV?
Yeah, I'm DMV.
What? Yeah, woo! Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, the app just got interesting,
Kofi,
guys.
Yes.
Have a great week.
Kofi, we're the smart ones on the podcast. Just joking. Just joking. So.
Oh man.
Oh, I love it. I love being the DMV.
I knew it was going to be this kind of show when he showed up and he said, "I'm on my 21st shot." I was like, "Oh, here we go." It's going to be this kind of show.
You know what though? Someone told me, said when you drink, you make more sense, but some
no,
you don't. Who told you that? Did your wife tell you that shit?
Somebody who was drunk.
No,
Look at me, man. Look,
another drunk ass person told another drunk ass person, you sound better.
You sound like crackhead. I got these cheeseburgers.
I'm talking about me being drunk.
Hold on, what'd you say, Forte?
Oh my God, never mind. Can we end the show, please?
No, we're not gonna end the show.
Oh, okay. I think Kofi needs to.
I say one way or another, this show gonna end. He ain't gonna be here by himself.
Yeah, he gonna be here by himself for the Super.
Facts, OBJ. If you're not a Redskin fan, don't be shouting out DMV. You don't count, especially if you're a Cowboys fan. If you're a Cowboys fan, you gotta move. Just get out. Just go.
I don't even think.
Oh, Kofi, no, Kofi, don't do this.
Y'all Redskin fans.
I would take you saying you're a Giants fan. If you're a Giants fan,
I'll give you a hint. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I am from that division.
What?
Philly
Eagles.
You an Eagles fan?
Yeah.
Oh, so how you feel about Carson Wentz getting ramrodded by Jalen Hurts being in the lineup now?
Yo, I'm salty. I am salty, man. I'm a big Wentz fan. I can't believe that, man.
Man, they did that boy good. They did that boy gutter. Shannon Sharp. I love what Shannon Sharp said. He's like, he can't catch no passes. How he gonna help us next year?
I don't even begrudge them for picking another quarterback, considering Wentz can get a season-ending injury off a strong win. So it's just
right.
He can't stay healthy for nothing. So
So what those Redskins gonna be doing this year?
Trash as usual.
Oh, good.
Don't invoke their name. Don't bring them up. Look, you can't hurt me by bringing up how bad my Redskins are. This is something that no one can actually tell Redskin fans about. We already know our team is trash.
You're right.
This is something that we wake up in the morning, we look in the mirror and be like, they're gonna be trash another year. It's something that we have just it's in our blood now. So it is what it is.
Yeah, right. Just be ready for the GOAT to take the Buccaneers to the Super Bowl this year. Just be ready for it.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Okay. GOAT's going to I ain't say the GOAT will win it, but the GOAT going to the Super Bowl, baby. Back to the bowl.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Okay. Want to put a friendly bet on it?
It's not happening. No, I don't.
What? See, that sounds like a person that has no conviction. You telling me you
NFL? Like you can't put. Look, I had a coworker that was going.
You got what? How many teams is in the NFL? 32, right? 32. So that means you have a what? Just under 60.
Don't try to do math when you're drunk, okay?
Yeah, you're right. Just under, and I'm really good. I'm really good at math too. And I was like struggling for a second. So you're telling me it's like a 16-1 chance that you got a team that could go that my team won't make the Super Bowl. You won't take 16-1 odds?
Your team. You mean the Patriots?
No. My Patriots are my team, but Tom Brady is the GOAT, and Tom Brady's the reason I'm a fan.
So what you saying? You a bandwagon fan?
No. There is a difference, sir. I will root for my Patriots because they're going to make the Super Bowl over on the other side. That's why. That's okay.
I got to roll.
Bet on that. Want to put a bet on that one?
I got to roll, guys.
I'm not betting man.
He has to go.
All right. We got to shut this show down because Enrique is making people mad and they got to leave.
No, that's not why it's happening.
Shut the show down, man. He got to go to the beach with the rest of the people.
Hey, Kofi, good having you on, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yeah,
Chad,
for anybody
have a good night, Chad. I will catch you guys on the flip.
Alriady, we love you, bro.
Yeah, join us Saturday. Peace out.
I love you, right? You know I love you, E, right?
I love you too, man. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
What number you up to now?
41.
Damn. If you had COVID in your system, it's gone now, man. COVID's like, I cannot roll with Forte, man. We got to go.
That man don't want to go. No, man, I'm good. 40. God dang, 41. It just feels old.
Because it is.
How old are you, Slow-Mo?
39. He's still younger. Just just letting you know, still younger.
For another 6 months of his birthday roll around, and he's 40.
my wife says the same thing, man. She's like 3 months younger than me. She's like, I'll always be younger. I'm like,
how old are you, E?
44.
Woo!
Woo!
44. How old are you? What about you, Enrique?
25.
What?
You see how he said he didn't want to say it?
What did he say? 45. 25. 55? Double nickel?
He said 25.
Did he say I think he said double nickel.
I said 25.
25? Okay, 55 then you mean. What about you, Kofi? What are you?
33.
Woo! Woo! Oh, what about B Money? B Money, what are you?
35, man.
You said 45?
35.
35.
B, you know, you were young. You know what's funny? B, you have success in this industry, man, at a young age, dude.
Man. Hard.
Work hard, man. You know, he accomplished more in 35 years than Slow-Mo accomplished in 39 and 42.
Wow.
What?
I'm just throwing shade at you, Slow-Mo, because you said you're 39. You're actually 40. I know how old you really are, Slow-Mo.
I'm 39. That's how old I am.
Slow-Mo, you were born in 1978, sir.
What?
You were born in 1970. I got the birth certificate.
Okay. How would you get that? I don't know. In the show, this is
I'm
off
trying to
the
tell him
rails
to end
at
the
this
show,
point.
but he keep wanting to sit here and talk about it.
No, I want to talk about this. This is kind of funny.
Look! If we gonna sit here, if he gonna allow us,
All right, guys, I got to roll for
later.
real.
All right. See.
Look, if he gonna listen, it's a disservice to our not our panel, but our chat. If he's gonna sit here and keep this party open and let people hear what we gotta talk, we gotta get him a show. So Slow-Mo, I got that birth certificate. You want me to put it on Twitter?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and put it on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Okay, now I ain't gonna put it on Twitter.
Because you ain't got no birth certificates to do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, so if I actually posted that man's birth certificate on Twitter and it was actually that, he really couldn't get mad at me because he told me to do it.
Oh my goodness.
This is a great day. I love you guys.
Hey, you know what? Happy birthday to you, Forte.
Thank you. One thing I will say is, and on some real stuff, it's been a hell of a ride on this show for like the last, I think, 2 years now.
How's work going, by the way? Because you work for
work?
Yeah.
For GameStop?
Yeah.
Did you guys read that?
Are you guys going out of business?
No. Who said we're going out of business?
That's what I heard.
Everybody?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's been saying.
Last time I checked, GameStop had its best holiday the week that this virus hit, and it kind of solidified why people want physical media still. Not everybody, but there's a healthy amount of people that do. GameStop's not going nowhere for at least another 10 years, at least. It will be a smaller company than it is now, but it's going to be around. I'm not worried about that at all. But ultimately, the company's doing fine. They just want everybody to they're just trying to get these stores back open because there's so many stores that are still shut down due to stay-at-home orders and stuff. So
wait, so what are they going to do to like mitigate, you know, like the health risk of like, you know, all stores that are open we've been getting gloves. We've been getting, they send a supply of gloves every week, a supply of masks every week. They send sanitizer every week. We have cleaning supplies. They send that stuff they send that monthly. They send like a big box monthly of all the cleaning supplies to go through stuff. They haven't started trade-ins yet. They don't take cash yet. Because there are states that are open that actually let guests in. They started this week. Our store is like a category 3 state because of how severe it was here. So we haven't opened up and done that yet. But like they're not even taking cash trades or anything. They're doing the bare minimum. So they're doing a lot when it comes to telling people that they don't have to work. You have to take a survey every day you work to validate if you had any symptoms or anything. And if you answer those questions wrong, your supervisor has to send you home. So they're doing their thing. I mean, it's
it's progressing. It's getting better. They just it's at a certain point now though that every company is just struggling right now. Every company's trying to find a reason to keep their doors open. GameStop's no different, just like everybody else. And the thing is, GameStop actually has a really good piece of this just because of the fact that there are so many people staying at home. It is a value, video games is a value commodity across the country right now for a lot of people. Plus they want to get these relationships back open with these, not the developers, but with the platform holders, because you can't find a system any goddamn where. Can't find controllers, can't find most of the sought after games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, just because with the stores being shut down, they're not ordering copies of the game because they're trying to cut costs as much as possible. So they're trying to get everything back in order. Like I'm expecting within the next month a huge shift in what their thought process is, because they kind of want to get ready for this next generation. They already put the call list on they put the call list up for people that want to get Xbox Series X and the
ain't nobody
PS5.
trying all that shit, man.
All that stuff, not PS5, but Xbox.
Hey, here we go.
OBJ, the dog.
All that shit.
Did he come in here?
Man. What you talking about, man?
Yes,
Hey, man,
he
what
did.
you talking about,
Cuss
man?
me
What
out,
you
OBJ.
talking?
I know I said some blasphemous.
Hey, OBJ, OBJ, wish him happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, man. How old is you?
This motherfucker talking about.
How old is you, man? How old are you?
Forte.
I'm here.
Birthday. How old are you?
I'm here. I'm fine.
I
said, how old
I can't
is
hear
you?
him. Did he mute me?
I don't know. Hey, look, he just asked you how old you are.
41.
Damn, boy, you old as a motherfucker.
I got him
man.
muted.
Oh, so that's what we doing.
That day with what's that?
That's
Hi,
what we doing out here. What's
How you
going
doing,
on?
Obi? No. The day you were arguing with what's name that day, back and forth on the show the last time, I was like, mute these bugs because they
we
won't
ain't gonna
stop
bring up
talking.
bullshit.
We're not gonna bring up bullshit.
What's
Hey,
Happy
up,
birthday, man. Happy birthday, man. You're an old motherfucker, I'll tell you that much. God damn, boy.
I know. 41, man. How old are you, OBJ?
Hey, he used to hold the microphone for Jesus at his speeches. Hey. That motherfucker, hey, that motherfucker played the real Ben-Hur. God damn.
You stupid, OBJ.
Who gave this man permission? Who gave this man a yellow? Who gave this man the BRAP guest list? Maybe I did.
I know I did. Hey, OBJ. OBJ. He says Ben-Hur. OBJ. He's stupid. Hey, OBJ. I gotta. I wanted to bring you on because Creative Kofi's from the DMV, man, and he's a true gamer, man. I love it.
OBJ is too.
Yes,
I like Kofi, man. I've heard some of your work. I think I heard you on one of what's the Xbox podcast?
Xbox Nation.
No, the Xbox. What's his name?
Isn't it Xbox Nation?
Damn, what's his damn name? Violent, FC Violent or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, SB. Vitamin D.
Yeah, Xbox.
Hey, who's also from the DMV, by the way.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, he from the DMV. Hey, look, we got a lot of them, man. A lot of them from the DMV, man. Hey,
yeah, a lot of senile people.
Hell, you talking about? Hey, you never seen that over there. Fred G. Sanford, what's up with you?
You know what? Let me shut up because I'm not about to get into a war of words with this man because this man has buried more people than I know. I'm not getting into this.
Hey, OBJ, get him right now. Get him, please.
No, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna shut up.
Hey, look, Slow Mo done already got him for me. I'm good now. Shit. Hey, look, I couldn't believe he let that slide past him. I was like, hold on, what you mean Ghost was showing on a PC around here, man? Come on now.
If I would have heard it when he said it, I don't know what I was doing. I ain't hear that at all. I was like, wait a minute, what? Nah.
That's good. I don't believe I said it.
That was the first time.
No, I mean, I don't believe it came out my mouth just because
I know you prefer you running the Xbox gamers I respect for it, Tay. That's why it was surprising coming out of your mouth, because I was like, I never heard any Xbox shit come out your mouth before, and that was the first time I heard Xbox shit come out your mouth.
That's because 26 drinks later kind of did it.
So and look, man, when you drunk, they tell the truth. So you telling me. Basically, you one of them. You probably be creating soccer accounts on Twitter and whatnot. Trying to get at me. You trying to spoil The Last of Us for me, man. They keep on trying to send me requests. They trying to spoil The Last of Us.
Oh man, I don't know how you be dicking and dodging that stuff, man.
Hey, bro. Hey, I have blocked literally 95% of Twitter. Look, when I go into somebody's thread, all I see is this. You have blocked this person. You have blocked this person. That's all I see, and then maybe 1 or 2 comments. That's it. I do predictive blocking. I have blocked people who I think they might spoil it. I went to their profile, I've checked, and I was like, yeah, he might try to spoil it for me, and then I
OBJ, you say you have analytics? You got analytics to run the blocking?
Hey, no, I don't play around. I ain't playing around, man.
This Twitter account is 68% likely to spoil something. Let me just go ahead and block.
I'm over here predicting blocking motherfuckers.
Oh, shit. Hey, OBJ. Yeah, you know what, OBJ? Bad love for you, man. DMV. Seriously, like, people don't understand the DMV. It's another beast. It really is. People don't get it. They don't get it. You know?
Yeah, man. Full of damn Cowboy fans. Unfortunately, I can't believe this shit.
I can't believe it either. Slow-Mo is a Cowboys fan. I don't get it.
Hey, don't slander me like that. Don't do that.
Aren't you a Cowboys fan, Slow-Mo?
Look, man, it's that star, man. That star on their head, man. Slow-mo attracted to it.
Y'all better be glad Trump president and not my ass, because I ship them all up out of here. I get them all up out of here immediately. It would be a crime for you to be a Cowboy fan. I mean, a literal crime. I will put you under the jail. Your ass ain't never getting out. Huh?
Hey, so basically,
that's half the DMV, man.
Illegal immigrants.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they illegals like a motherfucker.
OBJ, that's half the DMV, though.
Y'all ready to send LeBron James?
Yeah, I know. Ain't that something? Man, LeBron.
that man's a Cowboy fan, man. You ready to get rid of LeBron, too?
Oh, yeah. That's probably one of the reasons I've always hated on him, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, there's like Cowboys, LeBron James, and Duke Blue Devils. That's my 3 top.
Well, we all know that.
Hey, OBJ, I think that if you're the DMV, you do hate the Cowboys. You always hate the Blue Devils. You always hate Carolina. You know, the Tar Heels.
No,
you don't hate
Carolina.
I don't like the Tar Heels.
I was raised in Carolina, though. I just been here for like 20 years now. So
LBJ, you're DMV.
I was
for
raised
life
in
now.
Carolina.
What you a Terrapin fan or
even people
OBJ,
in Carolina hate Duke.
No. OBJ,
even actual like people who've been living their entire life in North Carolina.
Nah, but OBJ, you are Maryland right now for life. 20 years? Come on, man.
Yeah, but I mean, my college team is definitely North Carolina. What? That was all we had back then. When I came up in North Carolina.
He just hurt your feelings. He just hurt your feelings, bro.
On TV, you know, we didn't have a football team.
No, sir.
We didn't have a
tell him about that. Tell him about that GOAT that played for North Carolina that we just saw a 5-part series
on. Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
You mean that bum? You know what I mean? That bum?
Tell it that who?
You mean that bum?
In this show.
Excuse me?
In this show.
You mean that bum?
Don't start.
Excuse me?
Don't start, bro.
Enrique.
Okay, are you drinking too?
Trolling
really
Hey, OBJ, you know Bill Russell's the GOAT, 11 championships. I'm just saying.
Man, I don't give a damn if he had 80 championships. He ain't no damn Jordan.
He ain't no Jordan.
Hey, Jordan, I always tell people, look, Jordan is the best basketball player because he had his own song. What other motherfucker you know got his own song?
Yep.
They said like Mike. They ain't say like nobody else. They ain't say like goddamn Wilt Chamberlain. They ain't say nothing like Larry Bird. They ain't say like Magic Johnson. They said like Mike. They want to be like goddamn Mike. I wanted to be like Mike. You wanted to be like Mike.
Everybody
we all wanted to be like Mike. Even Michael Jackson, we wanted to be like that motherfucker. He made goddamn men and women faint. What kind of shit is that?
Oh my God.
How do you make men and women faint? What kind of shit is that? I don't even understand, man. Okay. But you want to be like Mike. Okay. How the hell we get to talk about sports anyway, man?
I don't know. Y'all
I don't even know. Like, I don't even know why we still on the air.
Hey, look here, man. Why y'all hating on that demo? Man? Why you hating, man?
Because
hey, PlayStation kicked off next gen.
On the demo.
That's what I said.
Who kicked off next gen? That's all I need to know. One answer.
Nobody
kicked off next gen.
No.
I ain't see no game that's next gen that I gotta buy day one.
We have been crying, especially after that goddamn what was that? Inside Xbox, inside your ass, or whatever that was.
Yeah, you talking about the live.
We thought we was going to get our first look at actual next gen footage. What these consoles are capable of. That's what we thought, right?
That's my point.
And we didn't get none of that. No, we didn't get none of that. None of that. Okay. So I mean, I don't even know how much of a hand Sony had in this. I don't know if they had any hand at all. But what I do know,
they had a hand in it. They handed money over to them
engine. No matter what you want to think of it, gameplay, not gameplay, we know it ain't a game. We know this, and really, no matter what you want to think of it, that engine showed us the first look. No, it's not a game or whatever, but it showed us the very first look of what we could potentially expect from next gen, and it was running on PlayStation 5 hardware. So when I was looking at that other show,
it didn't look
you said what? What?
Don't stutter, man. Stop stuttering.
You're telling me. Hold on. Point out a game to me that's using straight up goddamn movie assets at 8 fucking K textures around this motherfucker. Show me that. Show me that. Show me that.
Don't even.
Show me that.
Listen,
show me that.
If they would have never told you, wait, hold on. If they would have never told you those textures were 8K, you wouldn't.
Fam, I said, yo, I never seen something like that on a console. That was the first thing I noticed. And guess what, Forte? The crazy thing about it was this. When I was watching it on my phone, right? And I looked at when they put the close up of the rocks out. That was the first thing I noticed, and I was like, "Damn, that shit look crazy, right?"
You know what?
You want to know? Look, this is the crazy thing. I ended up hitting the button on the thing that tells you the resolution of the video. I had the shit. I was amazed, and I had the shit on 480p by mistake. And it still looked good. That shit still looked dope as hell.
480p.
I had that shit on 480p. That's how crisp them goddamn 8K textures look to me. And you know what that just showed me? That showed me that anything can be 4K. It don't even matter the resolution. I'll take the graphic fidelity.
Woo!
Me myself,
that is true.
I would always, if you give me the choice as a gamer on how I would like to play my games, what I would love to play at, I would always say 60 frames per second, right? I don't care if you do 60 frames at 1080p. Look, let me talk. I don't care if you do 60 frames at 1080p, right? I'm always been like that, right? But I tell you what, if I have to play at 30, if you're going to make me play 30, or the 30 is your prime mode, okay, then I want my shit to look like that. Okay, that's the way I want it to look like that. If I gotta play at 30, let it look like that, because that shit looks phenomenal. It's no denying that. I don't know how you can deny that. That looks phenomenal to me.
I'm not gonna deny you because
that looks phenomenal.
I'm not gonna deny you because I said it looked phenomenal. This is the thing. I'm coming from a world where I actually seen stuff that look on par with that, so it doesn't look next gen to me. A person that looks at nothing but a console for
okay. So give me some example. Okay, give me an example.
I get that.
Give me an example then.
Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, walking through.
Are you smoking crack?
Listen.
No. I just played that game. No.
What did you play it on?
A damn PS4. What are you talking about?
You trying to say PS4
a console with that engine was showing off?
I'm not talking
there
about.
There is nothing out there using actual movie assets at 8K textures.
For a person, the same argument I had with Enrique. For a person,
stop it.
Look, I'm gonna let you keep going because you ain't gonna put me in this trap like you did, Alex the other day. You're not gonna do me like that. So listen. I'm not talking about people playing on console. People that play on nothing but console, that looks like the second coming of Jesus. I'm not denying that for you.
Fam, show me something on PC with 8K textures and doggone movie assets. Show me something on there.
It's nothing. It's not even about the 8K. You can turn up at any damn thing on PC as long as the textures are in 4K. The shit looks fucking phenomenal.
I'm not down that those look phenomenal, but it don't look like that. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
All right, real quick, guys.
Go ahead.
So,
I love you, OBJ. I just want to
I love you too, man.
I'm not about to get a deep argument about what looks better.
Goddamn.
No.
I ain't seen nothing.
Hey, OBJ, we're gonna have to have this debate again with Forte, who is
celebrating
his birthday. We have to have that. But OBJ, I want to have you on because you are part of the DMV. Me, Slemo, and Kofi, by the way. So I want to have you on real quick. And I wanted you to shed some light and educate Forte, who is talking crazy right now. So we'll get you guys.
I need you to stop being a fanboy, sir.
A fanboy of what? A fanboy of good games?
You being a fanboy.
Okay, I'm a fanboy of good games. Yeah, I'm a fanboy of good games.
What happened to that PC? What happened to that PC? What happened to that PC Master Race, sir? Now you all of a sudden a Sony fan again now?
I'm a fan.
PC shits on everything.
No. I'm a fan of good games, sir.
You are a fan of jumping the narrative, whatever suits
Hey, OBJ, you see what he's doing?
I see him over there, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The main thing I'm excited about when I seen that is I know that whatever Sony does is going to look better. That's the main thing I'm excited about. That's how I know. Because you already know how Gorilla going to do with that Decima engine, baby. We look, they cooking over there, baby. They cooking.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that when it comes between Xbox.
Yeah, baby. It's going to be better. It's going to look better.
Everything's going to look better.
All right. On that note, we're going to end the podcast. So big shout. Hey, LBJ.
Hey, look. When Battletoads come out?
Oh, okay.
Hey, my boy J Dub want to know. My boy J Dub want to know.
You're a savage, man. Hey, leave Battletoads alone. It might be a good game. It might be a good game. So
I can't wait.
All right. Hey,
Battletoads.
All right. Hey, OBJ, thank you, sir, for coming on, man. We always appreciate you coming on, even though you're a Dallas fan. You know,
no doubt, man. I think I cut the black. Hey, I was cutting my grass earlier. I think I cut the black boy over there on grounded and shit. I don't know what that. I don't know what that.
You stupid man.
I think them little motherfuckers in the grass, man.
You win.
Yeah, you win. Hey, B, you hear this? B, you hear this slander?
Oh my God.
Hey, B, any comments, B?
Black boy over there.
OBJ is my guy, man. I roll with him.
Oh, man.
OBJ, he said I was OBJ. Oh my God.
Yo, you know I love y'all like a
OBJ, you wild, man. Hey, OBJ, we love you. Hey, you know what? We're gonna have to have you in Forte, and you will school Forte. I have no doubts about that.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna happen, Forte. We'll have to get you back on.
Just tell me the date. Give me the time to get the research, and we'll have.
Forte don't even play the best Destiny game. Best Destiny game was Destiny 1, and it was year 1. Okay,
wow.
You don't even know what the best Destiny is.
I don't disagree with you, sir, but I'm not going back and playing checkerboard at 30 frames per second.
Hey, look, so hold on real quick. I know you want to get out of here. They said they bringing Destiny to next gen systems, so I would imagine the only reason they would do that would be to have a performance mode. They can't be bringing that shit at no goddamn.
They don't have a performance mode. I'm not buying the system.
It's almost guaranteed to be 60 because their engine that they're using isn't very demanding. So it shouldn't be very difficult for them to do 60 on both consoles. But I mean, I might
get back into it if they do that. I might.
Don't OBJ, don't do it. Don't do it, OBJ.
If you do OBJ, I'll come over there.
I can't even trade it in, man. I bought that shit digitally.
He said I can't trade it in.
Look, man. You going if you get back into it 3 weeks later, you're gonna be like, yo, why did I even waste my time?
True that.
He remembered. People that love Destiny remember the good times. When Destiny's good, Destiny's good. It's just bad when it's really bad.
Yeah,
and that happens like every other month. So
thank you, sir.
Like
yeah.
People
just
tired of it.
That's longer than Division.
All right, real quick, guys. We gotta close the podcast.
Well, I tried to tell you to shut this show down too.
Hey, you already know it's past that old motherfucker's bedtime. Goddamn 14, man. Good lord.
Wait, hold on, sir. I stay up every night till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, well, I can't do that.
Hey,
so
look, I just checked my Bible, man. You in the credits? What in the hell going on around here?
He's some of the credits. You want OBJ?
I can't stand you.
What up, OBJ?
The credits for the damn Bible.
You know, OBJ, we gotta get you back on again, man. We're gonna get you back on, but a big shout out to Kofi, DMV Gaming. Kofi, please let everyone know where they can find you, sir. Thank you for coming on,
guys.
Man.
You can find me at creative_Kofi on Twitter. Typically, I would be very active on there, but I'm not there for the same reason OBJ is blocking people. So, I'll be back in June.
Man.
No doubt.
That's the smartest way to not get spoiled. That and don't look at YouTube comments.
No doubt.
Yeah,
OBJ, your old ass. Let everyone know where they can follow you.
You already know OBJ the Don Twitter. That's pretty much it. Although if you request to follow me right now, I'm not taking no requests. You already know why.
Because he might just show his profile because he probably already blocked you.
Yeah, probably so.
Hey,
probably
OBJ,
so.
I heard you're old as fuck. I heard you're like 150 years old. Is that true?
Man, I'm 25, man. What you talking about, man?
Oh, stop the lies.
Stop the lies.
Hey, look, man. Hey, shit, man. I'm about to
OBJ,
go back after my record deal, baby.
We got pictures of you at the IBEX. Is that true?
Shit, fuck out here, man. Hey, man, don't maybe I had to come out of retirement, baby. I'm about to get back in the studio, man.
I've seen pictures of OBJ at Dream Nightclub, yo.
What you know about Dream? Hey, you remember the barrage?
Yes, yeah. OBJ, we got pictures of the black hole and then the horse and Dickies
stories
afterwards.
about that, bub.
I do.
OBJ, were you the black hole, man? The black hole and horse and Dickies
man,
afterwards?
you don't know that about that. Yeah. The black hole, Oxen Hill,
risking your life.
Shit, you know what I'm
saying? Risking your life, right?
Risking your life, man.
I do have
go ahead.
No, so I do got one more question for you, OBJ. 5 months since your last upload, bro. What's up, man? I'm missing the face. I'm missing the face-to-face with the camera, with the 55-inch 4K sitting on the wall behind you, and your black Redskin hat, man. What's going on, man? When we gonna get back to it?
Probably when the GOAT drop. I'll probably be on there. I can't get on there right now, man. Somebody they even tried to spoil me through leaving comments on my videos and shit, man.
Are you serious? Wow.
I had to go through that. Yeah. I'm afraid to get into a live chat. I'm afraid of all that shit. I ain't I'm not fucking around, man. Wow. You know what I mean? So as soon as I see something, if I see blah. Yeah, that's all I do. You know what I mean? But when that GOAT drop, you'll probably see my ass on camera.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. Yeah. All
right. I do have. What is the white cat? Because most of your
man, we got to wrap up the podcast, man. Come on, man.
No, wait. Wrap this up. Cut.
Wait, you wear 2 hats. Black. You got the black Redskin one. What's the white one?
Okay, bye. We're leaving. Hey, everyone.
Appreciate everybody.
Damn white hat. Your ass drunk, man. What the hell? You talking about the white? You talking about the white and black one? You talking about
Hey, OBJ. Hey, OBJ. Let's talk.
National.
Yeah, let's talk about this after.
Yeah, man. He trying to interview economy and shit,
Yeah,
man.
right.
What's going on around
Hey,
here,
leave the
man?
man
Goddamn,
alone.
Howard Cosell last night.
I think this man in this show 20 minutes, an hour ago. He just wanted us to keep going.
No, but you keep going, Forte. We're trying. Hey,
Man, it's 12 o'clock, man. Come on, man. Let wrap it up.
yeah, we got to wrap it up.
I ain't never seen y'all on this late, man.
Yeah. All right. On that note, hey guys, check us out this Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're gonna have Paul from Red Gaming Tech on, and you guys will want to check that out. So we'll be here. And on that note, big shout out to our special guest Kofi, and oh my god, I can't even talk. OBJ the Don. Thank you. We're out. Peace.
Peace.